Hello, my name is Kim, and in this timeless reading, you will be receiving messages from your past, present, and future self. Now, because we will be receiving messages from your past self, we will be looking into your past. So if at this moment you have no desire to hear about your past, then it might be best to skip this reading or come back to it at a later time when you feel a little bit more comfortable with addressing the past. And I only mention this because I cannot guarantee that some of the things that were brought up in the reading, especially when pertaining to the past, will or will not be triggering for some. So if you're currently looking for a lighter reading, then maybe this one is not the one to tune into at this moment. But if you are interested in proceeding, then let me just inform you that how far back in time we will be going to connect with your past self will vary. So you might end up receiving messages from your childhood self or from you just a couple of years ago. And when receiving messages from your future self, keep in mind that you may be hearing from your highest self. Now, to figure out how many years into the future we are traveling to connect with your future self, I will be drawing out a number. And I do have the numbers 1 through 6 here because I was planning on rolling a dice, but I couldn't find one. And you know there's 6 sides to one dice. So let's see. Okay, so we have the number 2. So we will be receiving messages from you 24 months or 2 years from now. Okay, so with that being cleared up, let us now take a closer look at the options. So there are 3 different groups to choose from. Representing group 1 is the Dandelion. Group 2 is a starry night sky. Group 3 is bubbles. Please take a moment to meditate on the options, and whichever you are drawn to the most, then that will be the group and or reading meant for you. And please keep in mind that although we will be receiving messages from your future self, your future in and of itself is not set in stone because, as you may know, energy is malleable and fluid, and therefore whatever you do or don't do today can end up affecting the course of things, which is why it is always mentioned that it is you who shapes your destiny. But with that being said, if you have already selected your group, then please head on over to either the pinned comment in the comment section down below or the description box, where the timestamps that will allow for you to skip ahead to your selected group can be found. Okay, and if you are ready, then let us get started. Let's go. Hello. If you were drawn to group 1, bienvenidos to your reading. So when meditating on the energy of this group, what I saw in my mind were various colors, and these colors did remind me of color pastels, the paint or art medium. So I wonder if some of you are artists, creatives, creators, if you enjoyed or at some point in your life you did enjoy coloring, drawing, or painting. If so, then this is some kind of confirmation, and maybe if it is the case that in the past you did enjoy drawing, painting, coloring, but recently you haven't been doing this as much, your past self may be coming through to remind you that they very much enjoyed this and had a really good time doing it as a pastime, maybe as a hobby, or for some this could have even been a passion of yours, maybe even a dream, like becoming a painter, an animator, an illustrator, or painting as a career. And again, if this does resonate with you, then this could be serving as some extra confirmation or again a reminder to you of this past dream, passion, or love for the arts perhaps, or just colors maybe. But colors also make me think of playfulness and wonder. So at this moment, a lot of you could be being advised to allow yourself a little bit more playfulness, to be playful, or to add a little bit of color to your life by doing things, pursuing things, or engaging with things that really excite you, that allow for your playful side to come through and intrigue you. It's okay to do things just for fun is what is coming through. It's okay to have fun every now and then and be a little bit silly. Okay, but now let us get started with your cards. So I will first be pulling out cards to get messages from your past self, and then we will move on to your present, and lastly to messages from your future self. Okay, so let us begin. What just came to mind is things are about to get pretty colorful, pretty spectacular for you. But from your past self, we have shipwreck with find closure at the end of a phase or cycle, as well as dolphin with embrace your inner child and have fun. Yeah, I feel like everything that has so far come through are mostly messages coming from your past self, possibly more specifically from your childhood self, teenage self maybe, or if you'd like to see it this way, your inner child. But you are definitely being advised to have a little bit more fun, to not forget to enjoy yourself. I feel like your past self feels this is very, very important. But we do have shipwreck with find closure. So, something that came through is you don't need to be reckless in order to have fun or to have a good time. You don't need to put yourself in danger or do anything to the extreme in order to have a good time. Maybe that's a lesson that your past self learned. Maybe that's something that you at this moment understand or are coming to understand. But something else that is coming through is, and only take this if it resonates, right? There could be a fear of letting loose a little bit. There could be a fear of enjoying yourself because possibly for some, your past self did experience a tough ending or a disillusionment or maybe even heartache or heartbreak. I wouldn't say as a result of having fun or letting loose, but it's making me think more like after a night of reverie. So this could be a situation in which someone was letting loose and having fun, enjoying themselves, and then they received bad news or something unpleasant occurred, and their mind automatically assimilated this really good time with this bad experience. Like the mind immediately connected them both as a cause and effect sort of thing, when in reality possibly it wasn't that way. It was just how the mind was perceiving it, and this perception later led to this fear around letting loose. It could have resulted in something like, every time I have a good time or every time I'm starting to loosen up, something in my life happens that reminds me that it's not okay to do so, and so I can't have fun, or I'm not allowed to have fun or enjoy myself or feel at ease or feel at peace or feel settled, etc. So if any of that is resonating with you, I feel like your past self is kind of bringing this up to let you know that this kind of mindset and mentality is painful to them and possibly painful to you currently. And so they're really wanting for this to be addressed and see how this mentality, this mindset, this perspective is possibly not really serving you and is only holding you back, or is creating some kind of misconception around feeling free, being free, allowing yourself to be yourself, enjoying yourself, and enjoying life, or being happy, something along those lines. You will not be punished for being happy is what is coming through. But different messages are coming through for this segment of the reading, so only take that which resonates, because now what is coming through is that at some point in your journey, in your past, some of you might have experienced this ending or kind of like this shift where you might have felt like your playful days, your jovial days, that time of fun and play was over, and now you needed to be more serious. Now everything from then onwards will be serious and monotone and maybe even chromatic or mundane. This could be a situation when someone becomes of age or enters into adulthood that they immediately feel they are leaving their childhood days behind, or they can no longer be childlike, because being childlike is being childish, and that is not okay because now they're an adult and they have to be adulting, they have to be mature. And for some, this could have been a result of maybe something drastic and dramatic occurring in your life where you did have to, in a way, grow up, or you did have to mature. Maybe some of you did experience something like needing to grow up at a very early age because your situation did call for you to be a little bit more mature or make adult decisions or be responsible. Some of you might have needed to take the role of a caregiver or caretaker, a leader perhaps. And so some of you might feel or have felt like your childhood days were cut short. And maybe that is something that your past self, or even some of you currently, are still grieving. But it seems like your past self wants to let you know that, especially your childhood self, like that childish, playful spirit in you, that they're very much still alive and that they're very much still a part of you. That although you might have gone through experiences and situations that called for you to be more mature or responsible at an early age, that childish or even childlike spirit still lived on in you, and it's still very much alive today. And so it's like your past self wants to let you know, don't give up on this, or don't call quits on this too soon, because we can still enjoy ourselves, we can still have fun, we can still breathe in and live color, is what is coming through. And we have the Seven of Swords and the Three of Swords as clarifiers. Yeah, so the Seven of Swords often speaks of theft, someone getting away with something, or feeling like something was stolen from you. It can speak of deceit. And then the Three of Swords speaks of heartache and heartbreak and disappointment, betrayal. So yeah, it seems like for some this could be a situation in which you felt, or your past self felt, like something was taken away from you. Again, it could have been like that innocence, that childlike wonder, or even your childhood, like something was cut too short or cut out early in your life, and they grieved that. Or maybe even some of you are still grieving that, but definitely your past self is grieving something that ended or came in too soon, came so unexpectedly in the past, and that affected their way of perceiving the world, their way of taking it in, affected or distorted reality for them, is how it's coming through. Because I am seeing someone looking at the world in technicolor, and then something in their life happens, and all of a sudden now everything is a bit more dull, less vibrant, is how it's coming through. Or this could also be something like things that I enjoyed in the past, I could no longer enjoy because of this, or because this was cut too short, or I had to mature, I had to grow up, or because something I experienced really shifted things for me, and especially shifted my perception of things. My reality is how it's coming through. And so with Find Closure, it seems like your past self is asking for you to address this pain if it hasn't been addressed yet. And to forgive is how it's coming through. This could be maybe just extend forgiveness. Maybe you don't really have to direct it anywhere. Maybe this is about directing that forgiveness to yourself. Because with the Three of Swords, what I'm getting here is your past self simply wants to be soothed, or simply wants to be let know that all is well, and that they did the best that they could with what they had and with what they knew at that time. And they're saying, I am sorry things turned out the way that they did. I apologize for it. Yet, living in the past and reliving the pain that we felt in the past isn't going to make the pain go away. It's just going to make the pain linger longer. And so I'm ready. I'm ready to heal. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to forgive, possibly, or I'm ready to come to terms with what happened, or simply move on from it peacefully. Because what I want is to reclaim my power, and what I want is to move forward. What I want is to open my eyes once more, because we do have this person in the Three of Swords with their eyes closed, to see the world as I once did, because I know I still have that wonder, that wholesomeness, that innocence in me. It hasn't been taken away. So I'm ready to open my eyes and see the world as it is. See it in color. I'm ready to experience life in its fullness. And so this is not to say that you should go back to how things were, or that your past is telling you to go back to how things were. It's more like allowing yourself to start over, allowing yourself to close a chapter, and to see the world anew is how it's coming through. See the world anew, not see it through one lens, especially a lens that one experience provided you. Because sword energy is all about the mind, thoughts, our mentality. So there is something here about maybe shifting a narrative, maybe shifting your perspective about the past or a past experience. For some of you, I feel like that's what your past self is kind of recommending or hinting at, that you can look at your past from a different lens and a different perspective that is more empowering to you, and that allows for you to feel the more stronger and the more aware. So that instead of feeling stuck at that point in your life, you feel like you have grown from it or have moved on from it, and that it doesn't define you, or it doesn't have to define you. Maybe it only taught you certain things, certain lessons. It allowed some kind of growth, but it doesn't define your whole entire being or your entire life. Because it is you who creates your reality. It is you who chooses what to make out of your situations. At least that's what your past self wants. And I sincerely feel like your past self simply wants relief. It's like they're asking for you to move on from the past, to let go of something. It's as if they want to be here with you. They want to enjoy the here and now. They don't want to be reliving what happened at one point. Instead, they want to enjoy the life that you have created, and they want to create with you. They want to breathe in fresh air. They want to enjoy beautiful sceneries. I keep, maybe because of the cards here, but I keep in my mind seeing a beach or the sea, the ocean. They want to enjoy music, the arts. They want to dance randomly. They want to sing. They want to be silly. But I do want to read the guidebook message associated with the shipwreck card. So we have, find closure, the end of a cycle or phase. Once a ship sinks, it belongs to Mother Earth. The damage cannot be undone, nor can that ship be resurrected to its former splendor. Greater forces are working behind the scenes to ensure that you stay on your chosen path. When you veer too far from this path, the universe may suddenly redirect you in an attempt to keep you focused. These sudden redirects can feel chaotic, confusing, disappointing, and disheartening. When it feels like your world is on the brink of collapse, let it fall. Sometimes things need to fall apart in order to come together. Find closure within yourself and trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it's meant to. The shipwreck card may also indicate the completion of a phase or a cycle. This cycle may be as short as finishing up a small project, or as long as overcoming karmic cycles lasting multiple lifetimes. Yeah, so there's something about not needing to relive something. Even if your mind brings it up again, you don't have to stay stuck in that. Right? Your mind bringing it up again doesn't mean that it still has to have power over you, over your life. And there is something here with shipwreck of only take that which resonates, right? Because I know this might not apply for every situation, but the message that came through is let bygones be bygones. If something ended or didn't work out in the past, don't get stuck on that, because getting stuck in that only creates this feeling of stagnation or something not having worked out for you, when in actuality this could have been a situation that ended because it needed to come to an end in order to allow for a new beginning, in order to allow for growth, or for you to experience something lovely or something better. So again, if this is resonating with you, it's like your past self wants to come through to ask of you, and it's very gently, like they're coming through very, very gently to ask of you to allow them and you to experience this something new, to embrace the new, to embrace the present and the possibilities of what you both can create together. Because it's like your past self is, they're done. Like they've processed all that they needed to process about the past, about maybe what ended, what didn't work out, what didn't come to pass. They're done grieving, they're done mourning, and they're ready to move on. They're ready to be here with you. They're ready to move forward. They're ready to create and experience new. And experience life is how it's coming through. But I'm also going to read the message for Dolphin. I'm sorry, I myself don't really like when tarot readers read from the guidebook, but I find the messages of these book very, very insightful and enlightening. So that's why I'm sharing the guidebook messages with you. But we have Dolphin with Embrace Your Inner Child and Have Fun. And the dolphin is playful, peaceful, and emulates the energy of a child. Like the dolphin, it might be time to rekindle with your younger self. Remember how it was to see life through the eyes of a child. You may be too busy focusing on commitments and responsibilities that you often neglect to enjoy yourself. Bring fun into the situation. Find new and exciting ways to shake up daily activities. Sing to your heart's content. Dance like no one's watching. Spend time with friends and pursue that creative ambition. Your commitments and responsibilities may still be here tomorrow, but life is too short not to enjoy the moment. Awaken the inner child that still lives within you. Yeah, your inner child is still very much present. So is your past self. And if something didn't work out in the past that you tried out, like a dream of yours, you tried pursuing a passion, and because it didn't work out, you kind of dropped it or said goodbye to it, because the pain of this not working out was too much, or the disappointment was too much. I feel like your past self is saying they understand, they lived that experience themselves, and so they understand how heartbreaking this was. Yet they want to try again, or they want to try maybe something new and different that is similar to what you tried in the past. But one thing is for sure, they don't want to stop dreaming. Your past self doesn't want to stop dreaming. I mean, maybe at some point they thought that, dreaming or, having big dreams or having these goals that maybe you weren't able to achieve at some point in the past or at that moment in your life was silly, or it wasn't a good investment of their time or their energy. But that was in the past. It's how it's being conveyed to me. It's like, yes, I believed in this for some time, but I don't anymore. I don't anymore because it was like a phase that I went through, and now I'm done with that phase. I'm done feeling through all of that, and I'm ready to try again. And I'm a little bit nervous and I'm a little bit anxious. I'm not going to lie to you, I am, but I'm ready and I'm willing. And even though I feel a little bit nervous, I'm also very, very excited. So if you want to, and you want to hold my hand and walk side by side with me, let us walk into the unknown and explore something new, and let's try again together. Let's explore, let's venture out. Let us not allow for our world to become smaller and to silence our hearts, because allowing for our hearts to sing the song of our souls and our spirit is one of the most fulfilling experiences of this life of living. Do you remember how good it felt? Is what is coming through. They want to remind you, or they want for you to take a moment to recall how good it felt. To dream, possibly, or to have a dream, or to let yourselves dream, hope, wish, with the knowing that things might or might not work out how you expect them to, but it's just that fulfillment of pursuing, of hoping and dreaming, and not silencing the heart is how it's coming through. You guys, the energy that is coming through here is of a dreamer, and they want you to know that it's okay. Right? You can be practical, you can be logical and responsible while still keeping that dreamer side of you very much alive. But this is more like an invitation. Your past self, like I said, their energy is coming through very gently, and so they're more so inviting you. It's like a suggestion, an invitation. They're extending their hand out to you, asking if you want to run along with them, walk with them, recall the old days or relive them, but with the new insight that you have, with the new know-how. Because your past self is very practical and logical. They're very mature. And so they understand that, no, we can't exactly relive the past, or we can't exactly go to how things were, but we can take it from there, right? And we don't have to abandon who we were in order to grow into mature, because we can evolve. So if you allow them back into your life now, they can bring a little bit of that sense of magic and wonder into your life, and integrated with maybe your current maturity and practicality and know-how, whatever it is that you have come to learn, the lessons you have come to learn throughout your journey so far. And you two can create something beautiful together. Just enjoy your lives. And remember, this is you, right? Your past self is you. So this is just an aspect of you who is coming through. But yeah, that is what I'm getting so far. But to put it more bluntly, this is about playfulness, allowing for your playful, your dreamer side of you to come through, to enjoy life. to see the world in Technicolor. And as a clarify, we have Uranus with progressiveness, originality, rebellious, quirkiness, change, and awakenings. Yeah, so Uranus is simply advising you that it's okay to be your quirky, silly self. Not everything has to be so cutthroat, so serious all the time or perfect, because in reality, no one has it all figured out. So it's okay if you demonstrate from time to time, even to yourself, even in the privacy of your own company, that you're still figuring it out, because that is you being real and honest with yourself. And that is you living your life authentically, because again, no one really has it all figured out. So it's okay, because it's not about figuring life out, but it's more so about living it. At least that's the message coming through. But now I'm going to move on to messages from your present self. And we have anchor with have faith and choose optimism. Interesting. So anchors could be an important symbol, sign, or good omen for some of you. Could also be a confirmation of sorts. Anchors make me think of stability, of being grounded, feeling grounded, being in the present moment. It also makes me think of settling down somewhere, finding something that anchors you, finding a place that feels like home. It makes me think of commitment. And we have the Five of Wands to clarify. So the Five of Wands can often speak about inner conflict, inner turmoil. And it's interesting how in the illustration, it's children who are playing or who are discussing something. So there's a very childlike energy coming through for you guys, or it seems like your inner child is coming through very strongly in this reading. But the illustration in the Five of Wands makes me think of someone who is really wanting for something. They're really longing for it. Once again, we have someone with their eyes closed. So there may be something, a dream, a wish your heart is holding on to. And I just thought of that one song from Disney going, "I wish it's a dream your heart makes when you're fast asleep." So that song could be of significance. But with have faith and choose optimism, your present self is really wanting for you to not let go of this dream, to not feel like it's a silly dream or that you are reaching too high or too far, because you're not. They want you to have faith and be optimistic when it comes to this. They want you to have hope and maintain hope. Don't lose sight of your dreams is a message that keeps coming to mind. If there is a part of you that is resisting your heart's desires, your heart's longings, which are coming from a very pure and sincere space, your present self wants to soothe this part of you that is resisting. They want to comfort it. They want to let it know that it's okay. Or maybe they want to let you know that it's okay, that they understand why there is this resistance, why there is maybe this pain. Because for some of you, it could be pain, it could be fear that is the one creating this resistance. It's like I keep picturing someone being embraced, and it's like your present self wants to embrace you or embrace this aspect or part of you. Or maybe that's what your present self is asking or suggesting for you to do. To, instead of be hard on yourself, for example, have compassion and empathy for what it is that you're feeling and for maybe what you have experienced or you currently are experiencing, to understand maybe where the resistance is coming from or why it is there in the first place. Why maybe, if this resonates for some, there is a difficulty in believing in something that you wholeheartedly want to believe in. It's like your present self is wanting for you to acknowledge the pain instead of reprimanding it or admonishing it or pushing it away or validating it with even more pain. They want for you to simply hold it and to let it know that it will be okay and that you're right here for them, that you see them, that you feel it, that you know it's there, and possibly you even know why it's there, or take a moment to really understand why that pain is still lingering, why it's still there, especially if it's something that stemmed from the past. Yeah, because for a lot of you, I feel like it's your childhood self or your inner child that needs a lot of comforting, that needs reassurance, that is asking or wanting to be seen and simply embraced by you. And what I mean by embrace is being acknowledged. And most importantly, this is what keeps coming through, is being let known that it will be okay, that they are okay, that it's fine. And with Anchor, I know I just said don't let go of your dreams, don't lose hope, but there is something here also about a reassurance coming from your present self that it's okay to let go. So what is meant by that is you don't have to cling on to this. You don't have to. This is kind of a paradox, contradictory, but it's like what I'm picturing is someone fearing letting go of something they truly desire by continuously resisting and rejecting it. Because by them continuously resisting and rejecting it or doubting it, it's them bringing it up again and again. Just to give an example, this is just an example. It might be a silly example, but let's say someone has a crush on another person, and their crush has demonstrated that they do reciprocate their feelings. Yet, instead of accepting this, they keep doubting whether this person is interested in them or not, or even after their crush has told them that they like them, they are still doubting it. Like, do they really mean it? When in their heart of hearts, they know that they meant it, that this is true, that this is real. But instead of immediately rejecting and saying, no, you know what, I don't believe in this person, and I'm going to reject them, I'm going to move on from this, they don't. They still linger about, and they bring it up to their friends. Like, do you think they really like me? Do you think it's true? Do you think it's real? And when they're reassured that yes, it's true and it's real, that's when they resist. Like, no, it can't be. I'm just making things up. But then time passed and they bring it up again. And so it's like this push and pull. It's like, again, this tug of war, this inner conflict. And so it's like doing the hokey pokey. You're in, you're out. But in this hokey pokey dance, we're still dancing, right? And so what you're being advised when it's said to let go is there's no need to continue this hokey pokey dance. You stopping this hokey pokey dance, this tug of war, doesn't mean that you're letting go of the dream. It just means that you stop this war. You stop this going back and forth, this tiresome dance, so that things can come to pass, or things can come to be, things can play out and unfold as they were meant to, as you want them to. I hope this is making sense, because it seems a very peculiar energy, but it does happen at times. And I think it usually happens when we are denying ourselves some kind of truth, or we are denying ourselves something that we truly want. And so your present self is coming through to say there's no need for self-denial. There's no need to deny that which you know, or to deny yourself the truth, or to deny yourself that which you want. You can accept it. You can come to acknowledge it, embrace it, and even allow for it to be without needing to hold on to anything, without needing to play this tug-of-war game or experience this inner turmoil, inner conflict. Because this inner turmoil will go away once you come to accept and acknowledge that which you truly want. Simply accept it. And then be open to it by declaring that it may not come to pass, but it also may come to pass. And so you're open to the possibilities. But it's like your present self wants to kind of let you know that it's okay. It's okay to dream for this and hope for this, because the message that is coming through is this dream of yours is not as far-fetched as you think it to be. It's not as unrealistic. It's not as out there as you're making it out to be. It's actually quite realistic with the anchor. It's actually quite plausible. So if you can just let the anchor fall, if you can just let it be, then it is then that we can start seeing some progress, some momentum, or we can let the story unfold. So it's either like you raise the anchor or you let it fall, but you have to choose one, right? Because if we're just in the mist, in the middle, then we're not really going anywhere. And so think of it as a story, right? The story starts with the ship is about to set sail. But first they have to raise the anchor. But the anchor has yet to be raised. And so until the anchor is raised, can the ship set to sail, and then can we have an adventure? Or the book begins with, the ship reached harbor, but first they have to anchor in so that then the crewmates can get down the ship and explore the lands, and the adventure begins. But first the ship has to anchor. The anchor has to fall. So it's one or the other. But it's like your present self is asking you, let the story begin. Let it unfold. It's time for it to unfold. It's time for us to have that adventure we've been wanting, for us to experience that story, that fairy tale we have been longing and or wanting for a while. Let it happen. Let it begin. So have faith, choose optimism. But let me read the guidebook message associated with the anchor. We have, when a boat raises its anchor, it signifies the beginning of a new adventure or journey. During this time, the travelers on board are overcome with excitement and optimism. The universe is asking you to adopt a similarly positive outlook. Do not concern yourself with future obstacles or worst-case scenarios. Your perception of reality depends on your mindset, and worrying only creates a negative headspace consumed by fear. Life will be full of moments, both good and not so good. You cannot avoid future adversaries altogether, but you can choose how you approach them. Approach everything with optimism and gratitude. Your mindset is a reflection of your life, and your life is a reflection of your mindset. The numbers 20 and 21 could be of significance. Some of you could currently be in your early 20s, by the way. This is just serving as confirmation. For those of you who are in your early 20s, don't live your early 20s in fear, in trepidation, right? It's okay to be mindful and careful and calculating at times, but don't let fear stop you from living your life, regardless of what age you currently are, because every stage of your life is an adventure of its own. So let yourself adventure with optimism, with faith, with hope that good things will come, that you are being protected, and that what is meant for you will not pass you by. And if you ever experience a downhill, to not fret, because an uphill will soon present itself. And for whatever reason, I was just reminded of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. So that world, universe, story, lore could be of significance for some of you. If you read the books, seen the films, you could resonate with Bilbo Baggins or Frodo, or with hobbits. But more specifically with Frodo and Bilbo Baggins, because although they were hobbits known to love the quiet and peaceful life, they also had a very adventurous spirit. They dreamed big, and they had the biggest of hearts. So if you want a peaceful, calm, and steady life, know that you will have that, and you can have that. But if your spirit is seeking for some kind of adventure, know that you can have both. You can have a little adventure here and there while still creating or curating a beautiful, peaceful, stable life for yourself. You don't have to give up on one dream to have the other, is what is coming through. And something will become tangible for you. A dream of yours will become reality. So just have a little bit of faith. Let it be. Let it grow. Let the seed, plant the seed, and let it grow. But let me see. There's no need to fight with yourself or against yourself when you can be your teammate. Release the inner turmoil, the inner struggle. And we have trine with benefic aspect, free-flowing energy, harmony, talent, and ease. Yeah, so this is a good aspect. So let things flow, right? Be honest with yourself. Be sincere. Let the resistance go. Let it be. And then you will experience harmony, and then you will experience ease as well. Sometimes when we experience a lot of difficult challenges, or we face a lot of dead ends, it could be as a result of a resistance, us resisting something, us not being completely honest with ourselves, us not allowing for there to be free flow, for us to be guided at times. Like, for example, we're pursuing something that we don't really want to be pursuing, but we're adamant on making this happen because we don't really want to come to terms with what we actually do want to be pursuing. And that's when we might face a lot of challenges, or things might not work out, because in reality, we ourselves could be manifesting that resistance, right? Because even though we're actively pursuing this, subconsciously, we're not wanting it. And so, there's that kind of like conflict there, conflict of interest, maybe. It's like present you is pursuing this, but the inner child in you, per se, is saying, no, I don't want this. And so while you're pushing forward, your inner child is pulling back. And then that's why things might feel a little bit difficult, because there's this tug of war going on here. It makes me think of someone who's awaiting a call, but at the same time, they don't want to receive this call. And so they're awaiting it, but inside they're begging and pleading, oh, please don't let them call. Please don't let them call. And this desire is stronger than what they're actively doing in the 3D. And so at the end, they never receive that call, right? So if you resonate with that, it's maybe you're being advised to check in with yourself, right? Are your fears creating resistance? Maybe you're actively doing something, but deep down, there's a part of you that is kind of pulling back. Or maybe you're pursuing something that you don't really want. And so this could be a situation in which subconsciously there's some sabotaging going on. And that's just you trying to tell yourself, this isn't it for us. This isn't it. Let's move in a different direction. So it's time to get aligned is what is coming through with Trine. It's time to connect, right? Get connected with your mind, with your heart, and with your soul. Let those three come together so that clarity will come through, and so that you can align with that which is of your highest good, and create the reality that you so desire with a lot more ease and a lot more flow. Yeah, because 5 of Wands is all about challenging aspects, but then we do have Trine here. So allow for there to be flow is what is coming through. And this is possible. Not everything has to be difficult or requires so much effort. Things can be easy, and they will be. But now I'm going to pull out some cards for to receive messages from your future self. And you can think of this as your higher self as well, right? Because I don't want to make it seem like your future has already been set in stone, because I do believe that there are various timelines and possibilities that we can step into. So if you want, you could think of these messages coming from the future you are aiming to become, or the best version of yourself, your highest self, your higher self, something along those lines. Okay? Or the future that is living your best possible life or possible outcome, something along those lines. But we have Sand Dollar with manifestation, be open to receiving, and Portuguese Man of War with collaboration and teamwork. Wow, so it seems like your future self is currently, because time isn't exactly linear, but they are collaborating, they are manifesting money, they are manifesting opportunities, they are experiencing a lot of good things, blessings are coming to them. And so your future self is simply wanting for you to start kind of like stepping into that energy of being open to receiving, because it's like, I feel very soon you are going to step into this flow, you are going to release the resistance and allow. And so this is just confirmation from your future self that it's okay for you to dream big. It's okay for you to possibly aspire for a little more, because it is possible. They are telling you it's possible. And if there's something you have been wanting to manifest it, your future self is telling you, we're manifesting it. We're bringing it into reality. We're creating it. And we have already created some of the things that we have wanted maybe in the past or currently. And that only gave us the encouragement and the incentive to manifest even more. Because by us manifesting that, we realize that it is possible. We can indeed manifest. And so don't stop dreaming. Don't stop setting your intentions. Don't lose that ambition is what is coming through. Or silence that dreamer in you. And we have the 8 of Pentacles. So I do see you working on something, or your future self is telling you that you are working on a project. Maybe some of you are working on a dream, right? You're bringing something to life. I just thought of a business. If a dream of yours is to start your own business, then your future self is letting you know that you're already working in your business. The Eight of Pentacles also makes me think of a creator, a craftsman, someone who is practicing or developing their crafts, their skills. So again, if at some point you dream to build, to create with your hands, or to bring your ideas, your creations to life, if you wanted to be an artist, a creator, your future self is telling you, we're doing this. We're doing the thing that we dreamed about at one point. We're doing the thing that we thought was silly or wasn't possible, or we were made to believe that it was just a silly dream, a silly notion. We're doing it. Some of you could actually be going back to school with collaboration and teamwork. You could be learning with others, developing a skill with others, joining a course. A workshop is what is coming through. But the Eight of Pentacles also makes me think of finances. So I do see you profiting from something by this point. So your future self wants to let you know that you are making money out of your creations, or by this point you do have a job, some kind of income. There is money coming in. So it could be simultaneously, right? You're making money out of your creations, out of something that you love, or you're making money. There is some source of income coming in from a job, let's say, or from commissions possibly. And at the same time, you're working on something that you love, or you're developing something that you enjoy or that you love. But the Eight of Pentacles does make me think of someone who is building, someone who is creating, someone who is starting, it makes me think of a startup company. It makes me think of someone who is starting their small business, an independent business, or is starting to make a name for themselves, starting to build a customer base, a clientele. They're growing their business perhaps, or they're getting more skillful at something. They're learning a new skill, developing a skill, honing a skill with the Eight of Pentacles. It's a beautiful energy. But let me read from the guidebook. So we have Sand Dollar. Manifestation, be open to receiving. Sand dollars represent prosperity and abundance. The sand dollar is here to remind you that you have the power to manifest your deepest desires. To attract these desires, you must live in a constant state of gratitude while fulfilling your higher purpose. If your manifestations do not align with your higher purpose, it is unlikely that the universe will fulfill them. Don't be disappointed if this happens. It just means that the universe has something better in store for you. You're capable of manifesting many things, including relationships, career opportunities, financial abundance, and spiritual development. When manifesting, it's essential that you maintain a positive mindset. Your thoughts have the power to transform your reality, and by believing that you're attracting your desires, you actually draw them closer to you. So there's a lot of messages here about your mindset. And what came through when I was reading this guidebook message was the word compromise. So your future self is telling you to not compromise. Of course, they are with the Eight of Pentacles, letting you know that it's okay to be practical and it's okay to reason things out, but don't compromise on things that make your heart sing, or things that you know will ultimately result in you settling for something that you don't really desire or want. So just be very careful with what you are compromising on, because it's not bad to compromise. I don't want to make it seem like compromising is a bad thing. Sometimes it's needed, sometimes it's the logical and even the smart thing to do, but they're just letting you know, be careful with your compromises. Be mindful of them. And your future self is also letting you know that a lot of the fears that held you back, or maybe are holding you back, if that is the case for some of you, in the future, you're not letting them hold you back. Doesn't mean that they have completely gone away. They could still be there lingering, but they won't be your ball and chain. The Eight of Pentacles has this feeling of trying something out. Like maybe not really knowing what the outcome may be, or being aware that anything can happen, but still choosing to try it out, still choosing to launch yourself or take a leap of faith. Because the expression, it's now or never, came to mind. But again, I feel like there's some kind of mindset shift that is going to occur between now and your future, let's say. And this mindset shift is, I feel, is the very thing that is going to launch you into your future, this future energy, where you're saying, I'm done with holding myself back, or I'm done with playing it small. I'm done with simply assuming for the worst and not finding out what can possibly happen. Or I'm done with not hoping for the best. I want to launch myself into something hoping for the very best. Or I want to give it my all. I want to give it my all and see how far it takes me or how far I can go with this. Because the Eight of Pentacles has this feeling of someone keeping their head down, working hard. Like they want their work to speak for itself, or they're dedicated to what it is that they're doing. They're willing to put in the work. Yeah, so some of you could be taking some kind of action. You could be deciding to manifest while dreaming of what it is that you want, envisioning it, but also taking the necessary steps in action to create that which you want to make manifest. So it's like, I don't only want to dream big, I also want to live it. I want to like be part of it, create it, make it happen, or help to make it happen, make it real. So I see you quite focused. There's a lot of working hard, but definitely working on something that you love, something that you care for, something that you want to see grow. And yeah, a lot of you, your future self is letting you know that you will be working with others or learning from others, or there will be a lot of collaborations in the future. Yeah, some of you could definitely be like working with clients, customers, doing commission work, or creating for others is how it's coming through. Portugal could be of significance. And we have the 6th house with daily routines, health, fitness, pets, work ethic, organization, and service. Yeah, so that's what I was getting with the 8th house, like someone putting in the work, because the 6th house makes me think of someone who is disciplined, someone who is structured, someone who is committed. So I do see you committed to something, putting in the hours, the necessary hours. I feel like your future self is letting you know that you have some kind of routine down, or that routines are very helpful to be mindful of your routines. Anything that you practice on the daily becomes a habit and becomes part of your routine. So be very mindful of your daily actions. And with health, it seems like you are also paying closer attention to your health. You're seeing how like your day-to-day routines, how your habits, your lifestyle choices, they do ultimately affect your physical and your mental health. And so you're more mindful of this is how it's coming through. And work ethic, yeah, definitely. You have amazing work ethic. Your future self wants to let you know that in terms to your work ethic, there will be a lot of improvement. And again, there is something that you have figured out or you have gotten the hang of in the future. It could be like a routine, a system with organization. It seems like you have become more organized, or if you're currently organized, this is something that is still serving you in the future. But there's a nice balance with the 6th house or the number 6. So you have found, or you're finding a nice balance in the future, or that's what you're creating, that's what you're building up to. Some of you could in the future be living alone. You could be living with pets, animal companions, or with a roommate, but it feels like you're cultivating your own space, your own routines, your own lifestyle. This makes me think of someone who's starting or doing something on their own, or becoming a lot more independent, self-reliant, self-sufficient. And if you are someone who is a hard worker, if you identify with the label workaholic, it feels like in the future, you're still very much dedicated to your responsibilities, your tasks, your work. Yet, like I said, you found a nice balance between your work life and your personal life, where you're seeing that it's important to have a nice balance between both. That it's not all about work and no play, right? And it's okay to integrate a little bit of play and fun into your work. And for others of you, it's like kind of the opposite of, yes, it's okay to have fun, right? But sometimes we do need to be a little bit more practical when it comes to things in order to get the best outcome. Or there will be times maybe with our work that things might not be so fun and exciting, but that doesn't mean that something is amiss. It could just be that during that time, it's time to get down to business, but then things could get fun and exciting as well. So it's just, again, finding that nice balance and realizing that things tend to fluctuate from time to time, right? But it's when we're experiencing like extremes constantly that we need to like sit down and really analyze what is going on, what needs to change, if the adjustments need to be made in order to create, again, some kind of balance or a steadier fluctuation, a more healthier one. But I definitely do see you starting something in the future or getting the hang of something. This feels like a new chapter here. Like you recently launched something, or you're getting ready to launch something, or you're establishing yourself in a field, in an industry. You're getting established, you're settling down, settling in, that kind of feeling. Again, but there's more like getting the hang of something, finding your rhythm, more like. Yes, but let's see. Anything else I want to point out? With the sixth house, some of you could be renovating a house, or you could be redecorating a space, or you could be getting your own space, your own house, maybe a studio, a place to work in. There's something here about refurbishing, investing in a property perhaps. And if that is the case, no, you will be getting a return out of this investment, because I do see you working on a long-term project. And for a lot of you, that could be like reconstructing or rebuilding a space, a house, remodeling perhaps. It makes me think of like someone who purchased a plot of land and they're building their house from the ground up, and this will be their forever home. But some of you could be getting into real estate. That could just be for some of you. It doesn't have to be for everyone. There's something here about you having your own space, or you having something of your own. You've created something of your own. So again, for some of you, this could be like a business, a brand even, or working on building that, creating that. Okay, but let's see. Dolphins, anchors, sand dollars, jellyfish could be of significance. The zodiac sign Virgo could be of importance. But just to end your reading, I'm going to be pulling out some heart messages, sweetheart messages. Okay, so we have say yes, first kiss, well, we have signs, and be you. Yeah, so you're being advised to be you, because who you are is beautiful. And you're being advised to say yes to your dreams, or say yes to opportunities that really excite you and look good to you. Signs, you may be receiving a lot of signs, or you are being asked to pay attention to the signs, because they could be coming from your past or future self or higher self. With first kiss, this makes me think of a first experience, but I don't know, some of you could be very soon experiencing your first kiss if you haven't done so already. But this makes me think of, experiencing a first. So there's a lot of firsts that you have yet to experience and that you will experience. Yeah, so you're kind of being advised or asked to look forward to them, because these will be good experiences. And I was just reminded of Mia Thermopolis from The Princess Diaries, when she says that when she has her first kiss, her foot will just pop, and that in itself will be a sign. So there's something here about how you respond or react to something could be a sign in and of itself of whether this is something good or something not so good, whether this is in alignment with you or not. So pay attention to how your body maybe responds or reacts to certain situation, people, or experiences. Now I'm just going to pull out some pre-written messages to just get any last messages, advice, or guidance. And if you'd like, you can cast your gaze upon these and select a few if you want a more personalized message, or assign like a question to each one. Like if you would like a direct message from your past, future, or present self, or maybe from a spirit guide or the higher self of somebody else who is currently physically incarnated in this lifetime, you can set that intention and maybe choose one of these or assign. Or not, you could just leave it open message, but I'll give you a moment to assign if you want to, or select. And I will start over here. So we have there is light in you, remember. Ooh. We have the word happiness is too vague, but I hope you find life worth living every day. This quote feels very personal. I don't know why, or it felt very personal just now, but this is a quote by the singer, songwriter, rapper, performer, Kim Han-bin. And we have time and distance are nothing to the eternal. Oh, I was just reminded of a song with First Kiss, the one that goes, this kiss, this kiss. We also have Not Yet. And we have New Beginnings. Ooh, yeah. And lastly, we have What You Feel Is Real. Do not doubt. Okay. So these are all the messages that are coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, clarity, and confirmation if it was needed. If it did, and or if you enjoyed this reading, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you are new to this channel and you want to subscribe for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is on my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. But before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to your spirit guides and my spirit team for assisting me with delivering these messages to you, as well as your past, present, and future self for coming through to assist me with this reading. And I am wishing you a wonderful rest of your day or night, depending on when you're watching. And until the next moment, bye-bye. Hello, if you were drawn to group 2, bienvenidos to your reading. So a couple of messages came through when meditating on the energy of this group, which were leave a light on, raising the vibration, the word windstruck, which I'm not really sure if it is a word or not, and lastly, the message love regardless. And as I was delivering these messages, one more came to mind, which was waiting patiently for you. And one thing I did sense, again, when meditating on the energy of this group, was this feeling of being chased or of running away from something. And I'm not sure if this might be a trigger for some, so just a warning here, but what came to mind was a child running away from their nightmares, or a child who kept having nightmares about being chased by something. And when they awoke, instead of this fear dissipating, it kept lingering. And so in their waking life, they kept having this feeling or a sensation as if something was chasing after them or looking for them, and they needed to run away from it. I know that was very specific, so I wonder if this is resonating with any of you, whether this is a legit example of something that you might have experienced when you were younger, when you were a child, or this is something that you still experience from time to time, like for example, having these kind of dreams or possibly nightmares, or if this is more metaphorical, maybe an analogy to running away from certain fears or having certain fears that you are trying to avoid or not confront, something along those lines. But again, if this last bit is resonating with any of you, I feel that this example or this illustration that came through of running away from something or feeling as if something is chasing you is a message coming from your past self, I feel. Possibly your younger self, because if this is more of a sensation where you from time to time feel like you're running away from something, your past self is letting you know that this is a lingering feeling that stemmed or began sometime when you were younger, when you were a child, possibly. Again, only take that which resonates, because I know this is very specific. So maybe growing up, you did experience a lot of nightmares, and that feeling that came up when you had these nightmares might still be lingering in your waking life. Or maybe there was some kind of experience when you were younger that created some kind of fear that resulted in you being in constant vigilance. But the word lingering keeps coming to mind. So all you're being advised or kind of given a hint to is look back to your past, or you're being hinted at that those lingering feelings or those moments in which you're not quite sure why you feel nervous or anxious, or like you need to look over your shoulder or something along those lines. If that is the case for you, they have something to do with your past, something that you experienced when you were younger, or something that you went through when you were younger. So it could have even been something like maybe you watched a very scary movie when you were younger and that induced some kind of fear or anxiety, and maybe you're still carrying that around, because feelings could linger if they're not really processed or addressed, or if we don't really know what the reason for them is. So that could be the case for somebody. That's just an example, because it could vary for each one of you, but it is something that is coming through very, very strongly. Something that wants to be addressed, or something that your past self, especially your childhood self, really wants for you to know. It's more like they want you to know it's because of this, or it goes back to this. Yeah, so I hope that is of some help if the messages were resonating with you. But now I'm going to move on to the cards. And first I will be, actually, I want to draw out a card from this deck. Pulling out cards to receive messages from your past self. Okay, so wow. So we have 2 cards, and we have fish with pay attention to your dreams. Interesting how I kept talking about dreams or nightmares, and then this card popped up. And we also have life buoy with don't give up and help is on its way. Yeah, so maybe there is something that, again, okay, only take that which resonates, because these messages I feel are a bit specific. But maybe in the past there were some kind of fears around something. It makes me think of like someone who had a fear of the dark, or a child who believed that there was a monster in their closet. And I kind of resonate with these messages because when I was younger, I had a fear of the dark, and there was a reason for that. So I often had trouble falling asleep or staying asleep, which I don't know if it resulted in me later on in my life struggling with a bit of insomnia, being more of a night owl. But yeah, life buoy makes me think of like a nightlight, or of someone needing to be consoled, someone needing to be told that everything is all right, that there isn't a monster in their closet, that the darkness, the night isn't out to get them, or they are safe, more like. So it's sort of like your past self, and I want to say like your childhood self is wanting to be reassured by you, but it more so feels like your childhood self wants to reassure you that you are okay because they ended up being okay, like, or they want to reassure you that they are okay and so you are okay. It's this very strange feeling of there's like mutual reassurance here, or your childhood self is the one who wants to reassure you, who wants to console you and let you know that everything is all right. And in them consoling you, they are also at the same time consoling themselves. So I wonder if some of you needed that reassurance. And this is a very peculiar thing because I personally don't see time being something that is linear. And so I often do think that we do have the capability or ability to connect with our past self, or that simultaneously or in the moment, whatever moment in time we are in, we are in a way connecting with our past self or even our future self, while our future or past self is also connecting with us or communicating with us. So whenever you are consoling yourself or letting yourself know that you are all right, that everything is good, you are also consoling your past self. And when your past self was consoling themselves, or when they were being consoled, you in the moment are also being consoled, being let known that everything is all right. So when your past self or your younger self was feeling comforted or reassured, it could have been because you in the present were sending them comfort, were reassuring them, were letting them know that everything was going to be all right. But it's like your past self wants to let you know that the fears or the things that used to haunt you, they are not real, is what it's saying. Again, I don't know why I keep thinking of like a monster in the closet or nightmares, but it's like your past self wants to let you know the monster in the closet wasn't real, or it wasn't as scary as we thought it was, or we defeated that monster. It's no longer in the closet. It makes me think of like a children's story where you have the heroine or the hero who is a child, and throughout the story we see how they confront their monster or the thing that was scaring them, and they become brave throughout the story, or they defeat the villain, they defeat the monster, or they realize that the monster wasn't real, it was a figment of their imagination, or it was just a representation of a fear, but they have overcome it, or they have learned how to surpass it, and they have become braver, more courageous throughout the whole process. Now they are not as afraid anymore, or now they have the tools to confront their fears. So that's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. That's what your childhood self or your past self wants to let you know. Like, we have the tools, or we have the ability, we have the capability of confronting our fears. That which used to scare us and used to frighten us no longer does, or no longer will. Or they want you to know, I am here to help you. Don't worry, like, help is on the way. If you resonate with like having an inner child, your inner child is very, very brave. Or maybe you yourself had to be very brave when you were a kid, when you were a child. You often had to maybe reassure yourself, or I'm even getting something like create an alter ego that was courageous and was brave to get you through difficult situations or scary times. And if that is the case, if growing up you often had to face a lot of things alone, or you didn't have the support that you needed, that any child, any young person growing up needs. Well, first, your past self wants you to know that you did an amazing job, and that they are so grateful for how you were there for them. I know this might all sound very strange, but it's this beautiful thing of your childhood self, or your inner child having your back, and you currently having your inner child's or your past self's back. Like, you are supporting each other. And so they just want to let you know that they are so grateful to you, and that they see you. I keep thinking of a buckling hero. They see you as a hero. They see you as their hero. They look up to you as how it's coming through. I want to say they're so proud of you, but what came through in specific is they look up to you. But definitely they do want to reassure you that it's not so scary, or that everything is going to be all right. And so this could also be a heads up coming from them that you are going to be receiving support, or that you are supported. You are supported by them, or you are supported by the divine, that you do have guardian angels. I believe this is an angelfish, am I correct? So this does make me think of angelic presence. You do have a guardian angel, or they feel you to be their guardian angel, or just know that your inner child may often play the role of a guardian angel, or of a spirit guide to you. But to clarify, we have the Four of Pentacles, and the Four of Pentacles also often speaks of protection, or that's how I often interpret it, or sometimes do. It also makes me think of holding on tightly. And so again, this makes me think of an embrace. This makes me think of consoling. This person in the Four of Pentacles kind of looks like they're consoling this one pentacle, like there, everything is going to be all right, or you are safe. So there's something here about feeling safe, or needing to be reassured, or being reassured. So I wonder if there is a part of you, again, it could be coming from your inner child, that is still a little bit frightened, maybe startled by something that happened in the past. And that's the part of you that needs to be consoled, or needs to be reassured that it has already passed. Like, whatever that experience was is in the past now, and you're here now, and you're okay. You are all right. Like, what I'm hearing right now is the monster is gone. The monster is gone, or you're okay, you're okay, you're okay. So if it resonates with you, again, if you feel called to do so, take a moment to be with yourself and console yourself, reassure yourself that all is well, that you have your own back, that you are safe. Letting yourself know that you are safe, I feel, is super, super important. Maybe there is something here about creating a safe space for yourself, looking after yourself, looking after your safety, prioritizing that. That could be something that your past self is asking of you to prioritize right now in your life. Or if that is something that you are working towards to, your inner child or your past self is supporting you in that, and they are helping you with that to create that. But Four of Pentacles also makes me think of someone who is having a hard time letting go. So there could be something that your past self is asking you to let go of. It could be, and again, it could be like, I keep talking about fear, but it doesn't have to be pertaining to some kind of fear. It could be like a feeling of anticipation or something pertaining to the past that doesn't really allow for you to move forward. They are advising for you to let go of this. And it seems like one of the ways in which you can let go of this is, again, through reassurance, you reassuring yourself, or again, letting yourself know that you are okay, that you are safe. I think that will help immensely. It will help immensely in bringing that part of you back into the present, and simultaneously letting go of whatever this may be. But the Four of Pentacles is also making me think of finding comfort in something. So maybe some of you have like a toy or a blanket or something. I'm thinking of a nightlight that comforts you or soothes you. And this might be something like an object, an item, or maybe even like a lullaby, a song, a comfort movie, a snack that you've had since you were younger that used to comfort you, that was of comfort to you when you were younger. Or maybe when you were young, you did have something along those lines. And so your past self is kind of letting you know that it's okay if you utilize this to help comfort you right now, or that this could be something that might help you or will be of help to you. And what is also coming through with the fish, because it's reminding me of like Neptunian energy, Pisces energy, is that a lot of you could have had very interesting experience growing up, paranormal experiences perhaps. Maybe your dreams were very, very vivid. Your third eye could have been quite active when you were younger, or maybe in the past you did experience a third eye activation, and that resulted in you having very vivid or very maybe even bizarre dreams, or in you seeing energy perhaps. But it could be for some of you that at that time you didn't really know that what you were experiencing was a result of a third eye activation, or your third eye being open and active, or you being sensitive to energy, or seeing energy, connecting with spirit, etc. And so with help is on the way, this could be an indicator that if you are currently wanting to tap more into your psychic abilities, or your clairs activated them or work with them, you will be receiving help, or they're advising you to seek out for guidance, perhaps. Maybe do a little bit of research on this if this is resonating with you, or if there's anybody you know who is like a medium or who works with energy, maybe getting guidance from them. It's not a must, but it's just a suggestion, something that you could look into if you want to, or you could even call upon your spirit guides or guardian angels if you believe in them to help you with this, because they want to let you know that you're not alone and that there is help out there. And for others of you, this could be speaking about like help from professionals. Like maybe for some, you're being advised if there is something that you are having trouble with comprehending, like something that happened in your childhood, in your past, that is still in a way haunting you today. Or maybe haunting is not the best way to put it for everyone, but this could be something that you're still kind of trying to get a grasp on, trying to understand, but you're having trouble to. Seeking out a professional like a counselor or a therapist might actually do a lot of wonders, or be very, very helpful to a lot of you. Yeah, because it seems like there's something your past self is asking you to address, to uncover or make clear. But let me read from the guidebook, because I have been doing that for the other group. So So we have fish with pay attention to your dreams. The energy behind this card is heavily influenced by the Pisces zodiac sign. The Pisces zodiac symbol is two fish swimming in opposite directions. These two fish represent the balance between physical and metaphysical, fantasy from reality and subconscious from conscious. Pisces are referred to as the dreamers of the zodiac because of their close connection to celestial realms. The clarity that you seek will be revealed to you in your dreams. Dreaming is one of the many ways that unseen energies like our spirit guides communicate with us. Be sure to record your dreams and their meanings. Yeah, so dreams could be quite important. Or like I said, you could have had a very active imagination growing up, or you could have had very vivid, very bizarre dreams. Some of you could have been very tapped into spirit and energy, and so a lot of which you picked up on energetically, psychically when you were awake could have been digested in your dreams, and that could have resulted in very bizarre, very vivid, very peculiar dreams. Very sensitive to energy, or you have a very active third eye chakra, for example. Maybe you have come to learn how to protect your energy, how to tune in and tune out, how to place your boundaries with spirit as well, if that resonates with you, and possibly even how to work with your psychic senses, your psychic abilities. And so if this is the case, your past self wants to congratulate you on that, or they want to let you know that you have done a really good job and that you have improved, because now they do feel a lot more protected. Now they do feel like they have a better handle on their abilities. And when I speak of them, of course, I'm speaking of you as well. But since this is a message coming from your past self, that's why I'm saying them instead of you. But yeah, it seems like your past self wants to let you know that there is a difference. Like there has been an improvement and you have a better handle on this now than you did in the past. So they want to thank you for that. But this could also be a situation in which maybe in the past where you grew up in, or the environment you grew up in or were raised, you didn't feel really safe in. And now you are in an environment, in a place in your life that is a lot safer. And so once again, your past self wants to confirm that yes, they feel a lot safer now, or a lot more protected. But we have Life Buoy with Don't Give Up and Help Is on the Way. And the message, Earth is like a school for souls. Each person on Earth has their own set of life lessons that are meant to challenge and transform them. It's through these lessons that our souls can evolve and expand. If you have been experiencing loss, hardship, or defeat, remember that it is only temporary. You have overcome every single challenge in your life up until now, and this will be no different. So don't give up. Remember that you hold the strength of the entire universe. You are never facing your battles alone because you have a whole team in spirit dedicated to guiding you. Yeah, so it seems like your past self simply wants to reassure you that you do have support coming from your spirit guides, coming from them, your past self. And if you ever do feel inspired to send support, love, and encouragement to your past self, don't shy away from doing so. I know it might seem a little bit silly, but I feel, remember, if you believe that time isn't exactly linear, then whatever message you send out to your past self, it will definitely be received by them. And they will gain a lot of comfort and a lot of encouragement from your words, from your messages, from your reassurance. Okay? So let me pull out one more clarifier. So we have Leo with popularity, creativity, self-expression, childlike spirit, confidence, dramatic, ego, attention seeking. Yeah, so your past self is pretty, well, the energy that is coming through here is pretty confident. They're telling you that they're brave, or they're coming through as very brave, very courageous. Like, again, it's almost as if they want to reassure you that they've got this, that they can and that they will. And then we have last quarter with activation, letting things flow, moving forward and rebuild. So yeah, your past self could be coming through to let you know that it's time to let things flow, let things be, leave the past in the past. It's time to move forward from the past. It's time to rebuild or to start anew. Or they're just reminding you that that is something that you did. Maybe This is just a reminder of the accomplishments that you managed to achieve in the past. Like they're sort of trying to remind you, hey, you know, we were going through this, but we managed, remember? Or we experienced these things, but yet we pushed through and we overcame and we came out of that situation, maybe with scars, but we did come out of it victorious. Or we did reconnect with our bravery, found our inner strength and inner power. We did manage to move forward. We did manage to rebuild. Remember, we did do this. And so we can do this again if it is needed. Or it's more like they want to remind you of all your accomplishments, all your feats, all you have done, so that you can feel proud of yourself, because your past self definitely feels proud of themselves and they feel proud of you, the you who is right now. But Leo, the zodiac sign Leo, could be of significance. You could be a Leo, sun, moon, or rising sign. Or there could be a child who currently plays a very significant role in your life who may be a Leo, sun, moon, or rising sign. And that's just something that came through. So only take that if it resonates, because it could be like some kind of confirmation for some of you. But yeah, if you need a reminder that you have a fiery spirit and that you have a bravery and confidence to you that is unmatched, this is your reminder. Because what your past self wants you to know, especially your childhood self, is that your confidence has not been broken. It has never been broken, not even once. Maybe it has wavered, but it's still standing very strong. So believe in yourself. Continue believing in yourself, because you're pretty badass. Or what your past self wants to let you know is, we are pretty badass. And although we can manage a lot of things ourselves, and this is a message coming from your past self, it's okay if we ask for help from time to time. That is fine. So don't be afraid to ask for help, or be open to receiving help. Because even warriors and heroes have their sidekicks or do receive help from heroic and noble figures as well. Okay, but now I want to pull out a card to receive messages from your present self. And we have Abalone Shell with healing from the inside out. And to clarify, yeah, so there could be some things that you're being asked to address at this moment. Some things that you might need to want to, or you're being asked to introspect on, look into. Again, it seems like there is something that you're dealing with, maybe in your day-to-day, or maybe there's, again, some kind of lingering feeling or sensation. And if that is the case, and you have yet to understand why you are experiencing this, or why there are these lingering feelings or this sensation that comes up from time to time, answers will come to you once you go within, once you introspect, because this could be a situation in which something inwards is being projected outwards. Right? And so this won't get solved by you trying to solve it from the outside, but it will get addressed and resolved from going within. So it could be like through processing an emotion, maybe recalling the past, addressing the past, for example, or talking about the past, or something that you haven't yet talked about or expressed. Just letting it out could be of great help. Let me pull out clarifiers. So we have the 9 of Wands, and we also have the 9 of Cups. Interesting. So we have 2 9s here. The number 9 could be of significance. You could be a life path number 9. You could be seeing a lot of repeated 9s, or the number 99 could be of significance. Also, the month of September could be of significance. Oh, but this makes me think of, what is it called? Oh, a personal life year number, which often sheds light on the themes that will play out over that specific year. And you get your personal year number by adding your birth month with your birthday and the current year all together. So for example, the year that I will be posting this reading will be in 2025. So I would add 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5. Then you will add up your birth month number, then your birthday, and that's how you get your personal year number. So if this year happens to be a number 9 for you, then this year could be of significance. But I think like for the collective, 2025 is a 9 year, because if you add up 2, 0, 2, and 5, you get 9. So if you're watching this reading in 2025, this year could be of significance for a lot of you. So either this year or whenever your personal year number is 9, then that could be a very transformative time for you. It could be a time in which there will be a lot of aha moments, a lot of revelations, a lot of introspection, because these two characters in these cards look quite introspective to me, as if they are taking the time to look back and really assess or consider where they are at in their journey, whether or not they want to continue on the path they currently have been on, whether they want to try something new or not, whether they are feeling fulfilled by what it is that they are doing, because the Nine of Cups usually speaks of emotional fulfillment. It also speaks about wish fulfillments or getting exactly what it is that you want. So with the Nine of Wands and the Nine of Cups, I feel that currently some of you might have already experienced or achieved one or more things that you have been wanting, or you have achieved a goal. You have managed to make one or more of your wishes come true. And this was after a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of perseverance and pushing through, because that's what the Nine of Wands can often indicate, this feeling or this need to keep pushing through. Or maybe you currently are working towards achieving some kind of goal, yet with the Nine of Cups, there's this feeling of someone has achieved a goal or is getting close to achieving a goal, and yet they don't feel as excited as they expected themselves to be, or they still feel like something is missing. And so with healing from the inside out, I wonder if, again, if this is a situation in which maybe what you're seeking or what you're looking for is not something outside of you, but it's more something that is within or needs to come from within. So this makes me think of, someone who is seeking happiness through obtaining things, through achieving things in life, yet having and achieving doesn't really result in that feeling that they've been craving and are missing, doesn't really result or lead to happiness, or maybe it does lead to happiness, but the happiness is short-lived, or that feeling of fulfillment is short-lived. And so there could be a point in which the person is wondering, so what's the point, or what's the deal? I don't want to make it seem like happiness is something that needs to be obtained, or happiness is something that is long-lasting, because happiness is just like any other feeling and emotion. It tends to come and go. It's something that can happen in a moment and then leave us and then be brought up again. So you don't need to be in this perpetual state of bliss in order to realize that you are in a good place, or that you are doing a lot better, or that you are doing well. So this reading is pretty interesting, because I will say it's very deep, and a lot of that which you are being asked to address and to look into is very, very personal. It's like very personal revelations, truths that you yourself have to come to by introspecting, by asking, those deep, meaningful, and even difficult questions, by you taking a moment to be honest, completely honest and sincere with yourself. Because I feel that, again, if it is the case that at this moment you feel like something is missing, as if you're chasing after something. So I did mention at the beginning that some of you could feel like you're running away from something. But, now that I think about it, for some of you, it could be the opposite. Maybe it's not about running away from something. Maybe it's this feeling of needing to chase after something, like feeling like you're constantly chasing after something and not really knowing what it is that you're chasing after. And so if that is the case, I feel like what you're being advised, or what your present you is advising you to do, is to stop the chasing, if that is the case for you, and instead take a moment to pause, because both of these people are sitting down, right? Because at least based on the cards, it seems like what you are seeking or what you feel like you're missing is not out there. It's not something that you can exactly get a hold of per se. It's something that is within. It's something that needs to be addressed within. It's something that you need to become aware of that is happening within. This could also be something like, maybe it has to do with a mindset shift. Maybe you're looking at things in a way that is resulting in you feeling like you do need to chase after something. Like happiness is out there. Like a mindset of the grass is greener on the other side. that could have you in this constant state of chasing and needing and needing and needing, or working towards something without rest, without break. Or this with the Nine of Cups, this could be something about a mindset of the more I have, the better I will feel, or placing importance on material possessions, on achievements and accomplishments, on wealth perhaps, maybe beauty, meeting or reaching some kind of beauty standard. But what I just heard in my mind when looking at the Nine of Cups is, can't I just be happy right now? Can I just be content with what I have? Is it okay to be content with what I have? So maybe those are questions that you are asking yourself, and you're coming up with the answers, right? Because I don't know, maybe for some of you, and again, only take that which resonates, right? This is a collective reading, so a lot of different messages are going to come through, because a lot of different energies and people are tapping into or listening to these readings. But what is coming through is, maybe for some, you have been listening, paying attention to the ideologies of others, what others think equates to happiness and fulfillment. And you have been chasing their dreams, their ideas of perfection, their ideas of happiness, their ideas of contentment and fulfillment instead of yours. And so now is the time to let other people walk on their paths and take a moment to sit down and ask yourself what it is that you want, right? Regardless of what other people are doing, how other people are living their life, what do you think is important in life? So in other words, what matters the most to you? What genuinely and truthfully brings you joy? Again, regardless of what other people say is the true meaning of joy. Let other people be them. Let other people live their own lives and do their own thing, and allow yourself to be you, right? Because I often think that we all have different truths, right? What might be real and the truth for someone might not be what is real and the truth for another. So whereas someone might think that living in the countryside is the true meaning of bliss, for you, that might not be the case. And that doesn't mean that you're in the wrong. And that doesn't mean that that other person is in the wrong. It just means that you have different mindsets, different ways of viewing the world, different longings, different things that fulfill you. So this is the time to ask yourself what it is that you want. And most importantly, what it is that you want to do right now. Not 5 years from now. This is not about what you used to want at some point, but it's about what you want to do right now. But let me read from the guidebook. So we have abalone shell. So healing from the inside out. Abalone is a type of sea snail known for its unique iridescent shell. Ancient cultures considered abalone to be spiritual gifts holding intuitive and healing properties. When abalone are attacked by predators, they heal themselves by adding new layers to the inside of their shells. Like the abalone, the universe wants you to heal yourself from within. Inner healing is a unique form of self-care that doesn't require any external factors or forces. By healing yourself from past wounds, traumas, or patterning, you transcend towards enlightenment. Connect to the calm and peaceful vibration of the abalone shell to enhance this process. And this message fell on the pages 18 and 19, which really stood out to me because it reminded me of the moon and the sun. The moon speaks about the subconscious, the psyche. It can also speak about repressed emotions or hidden fears. It could speak about traumas as well, but the moon often indicates that which is hidden. And the sun speaks about revelations, exposure, and success. It can also speak about the inner child and joy, happiness, fulfillment. So yeah, it seems like you're going from a time of confusion, a time of things being hidden, something feeling like it's hidden from you, to you coming to a few revelations, you coming to a better understanding of what it is that you want, of where you are in your journey, maybe a better understanding of yourself, your dislikes, your likes, perhaps, what is important to you, what you truly prioritize, what you deem to be important, and so forth. And for some, this is a time in which you could also be asked to reevaluate something or give something a new meaning, right? For example, if you've been chasing after a dream and now you find that you're not as excited about chasing after this dream, it's maybe looking into the why. Is it because you don't really align with this dream? Or is it because the reason for why you are chasing this dream is no longer aligning with you, right? Sometimes it's not about the dream or a goal, but it's more about the reason. Looking into why it is that you're doing what it is that you're doing. Maybe you started this whole journey with one reason in mind, but now you don't really align with that. And if you take time to address that and see if you have a whole other reason, then changing the reason for the why you're doing this could be the very thing that will re-inspire you or help you get back on your feet, help you make more sense of your journey and where you're at and where you're heading. But this is definitely a time of introspection. This makes me think of when someone is going through an awakening, because awakenings usually can speak about that, like really taking a moment to assess, reassess, to introspect, to self-reflect, to ask oneself those meaningful questions. Ask ourselves what it is that we're doing, why it is that we're doing what we're doing. And maybe this could talk about the whole running away, because sometimes we get so caught up in the chasing and the achieving and accomplishing, because that in itself is a distraction. That in itself keeps us from doing the inner work and the inner healing, right? So sometimes what we're doing by aiming higher is actually running away from doing the inner work, running away from ourselves, perhaps getting real and honest with ourselves. So yeah, if that resonates with you, it feels like now is the time to have a nice chat with yourself, with your inner being. It's almost like you have caught up to you. It may be for some, it's this thing where you have been running away from you, or that's how it might have felt like for a while. And now you have caught up to you, or you're choosing to no longer run away. So this could be like your outer you, the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Wands could be inner you. And it's like your inner you has caught up to you, or you have chosen to no longer run away from inner you, or maybe past you perhaps. And this is resulting in some kind of, I wouldn't say confrontation, because that's not necessarily what it feels like. It feels more like a coming together and sitting with yourself to really talk about things. Talk about life, perhaps. Talk about you. Talk with yourself. But let's pull out a clarifier. Okay, so 2 cards fall out together, and we have, series with fertility, nourishment, motherhood, family, and animals. And we also have South Node with past life lessons, what comes naturally to us, what we are used to, and talents. Yeah, with, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, but with series, it makes me think of like nurturing the self, being there for yourself. This also makes me think of a coming of age, like a moment in one's life in which they really have to, or they're being called to, again, be more honest and sincere with themselves, to make some very important life decision, perhaps. So yeah, again, some of you could be going through a very transformative or life-changing event, or your life could be transforming in more than one way, or you yourself are undergoing some kind of transformation. You yourself might feel a little bit different. With South Node, this does make me think of kind of tapping into the psyche. It makes me think again of introspection, really getting down to the bottom of who you are, or what calls to you, what draws your attention, maybe what naturally comes good to you, what you would like to improve upon or would like to develop or learn, even if it doesn't come naturally to you. South Node, for whatever reason, made me think of challenges. Like, this might not be my forte, but I'm willing and ready to take on this challenge or learn it and face the challenges that come with this because I want to. This is what draws me. This is what calls to me. And yeah, with South Node, you could be at this moment addressing a lot of patterns, like maybe noticing what are the patterns that you have been repeating. If there's any cycle that you have been on or in for quite some time that maybe needs to be broken because it has held you back in one way or another. Or maybe there is something that you're currently holding on to that comes from a past life, if you believe in past lives or other lives. Yeah, but I feel with South Node that there is something that you're quite talented in, or does come naturally to you, and this could be a talent or a skill that comes from a past life that you honed in a past life perhaps, or in another life. And maybe you always had an inclination to this, but you've never actually fully pursued it. And maybe now you're looking more into it, looking into the why. Why have I always been drawn to this? Like, what is this trying to tell me? Do I need to look further into this? Do I want to? Is it time for me to explore this. There's a lot of questioning, there's a lot of assessing, looking into going on currently, or that you're being advised to do perhaps, because in doing this a lot will unfold is how it's coming through. And I feel like through you doing this, you will be able to release and to let go of all that is unnecessary, all that really isn't serving you, or is simply weighing you down, or has been weighing you down for quite some time. But now I'm going to look into what messages your future self has for you. And you can think of this as messages coming from your higher self, or the best version of yourself, or the future you who is living your dream reality, or the reality that is most in alignment with your highest good, something along those lines. Okay, so 2 cards fell out together, and we have Shark with Be Careful and Proceed with Caution, as well as Sailor's Knot with Entanglement, Energetic Cords, Ties, and Bonds. Interesting. Let me pull out a clarifier. So your future self wants to give you a heads up about choosing your adventures carefully and mindfully. Don't say yes to anything that you in actuality don't want to commit to, is how it's coming through. Again, maybe that's why your present self really wants for you to take a moment to introspect and self-evaluate perhaps, because very soon you will need to make some very important life decisions, as mentioned before, or you're coming to a point in which you will be presented with opportunities or options. And so it's important that you keep in mind what it is that you want. Because with Sailor's Knot, I'm sensing commitment. So there's something here about you saying yes to and committing to that which you do want, instead of what you think you should be committing to, or what others want you to commit to. Because with Shark, I'm seeing a situation in which someone feels pressured to go along with something or say yes to something. And with Shark, there's something here about not letting fear be the one at the driver's seat, making the decisions for you. Like, fear isn't a bad thing. You know, fear is there to help us survive, and in some situations even thrive. Yet when it's beginning to inhibit, when it's beginning to be at the forefront of every decision that we are making, that's when it's important to really assess what is going on and ask ourselves if fear is the driving force of every decision in our life. Is fear being the driving force of every decision in our life so far helping with creating the kind of reality we want to live in, or it's simply distorting reality for us and keeping us from fully living our lives? So I want, and I did make this clear in the introduction, but I want to remind you again that when it came to the future aspect of this reading, the reason why I mentioned that you could think of this as receiving messages coming from your higher self, or from the future you who is living your dream reality, or the life that is most in alignment with your highest good, is because, again, I personally do not believe that our future is set in stone. I do believe that there are various timelines, so the future can play out in many different ways, because it is our current actions and decisions that shape our future. And so I feel like this is more like just a heads up to you and advice to you, so that you can be reassured right now that it's okay for you to choose your own way, choose your own path. Commit to that which you want to commit to. And for your clarifier, we have the Hermit. Yeah, and the Hermit is a card that speaks about self-reflection, introspection, going within. Yeah, so you're simply being advised to consider yourself when making any kind of important decision, life decision. Consider what it is that you want before committing to anything. Consider if whatever you're saying yes to is something that you're quite passionate about, that really intrigues you, that you're really drawn to. And when you're presented with options with the Hermit, also look into if the options you are presented with, none of them are to your liking. Remember that these aren't the only options, right? You also have the option of declining, not choosing either. So you don't have to say yes to anything that is presented to you simply because it is presented to you. And there will be also situations in which you could choose more than one thing. It doesn't have to be one or the other. So what's coming through with the Hermit is it's not always black and white, and it's not always about what others want or how others live their life or what others do, right? Because we are all on our own individual journeys, and what might be suiting for one might not be suiting for the other. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation. So with this in mind, the Hermit is asking of you to take into consideration, again, what you want, and also take the time in your journey to get to know yourself, get to know what lights you up, what sparks curiosity, what scares you even, right? What challenges you, and so forth. Take a moment to really consider if you are running away from challenges, because challenges aren't necessarily a bad thing. Challenges are there to help us grow, to help us achieve major breakthroughs. Are you running away from your own potential? Are you running away from experiences and opportunities that will allow for you to show your true potential or tap into your potential? Are you running away from commitment? Are you running away from facing some kind of fear? You know, we're not here to tell you what is and what isn't, what is the right way and what isn't, because again, each of you are living your own individual journeys. But what I can say based on these cards is you're really being asked to and encouraged to go within, to be honest with yourself, to be sincere, to ask yourself questions that are meant to reveal difficult truths. Ooh, and for clarifier, we have Virgo with analytical, detail-oriented, critical, hygienic, responsible work ethic, as well as judgmental, critical, restless, and stressed. So interesting, because the Hermit card is associated with the zodiac sign Virgo. So this Virgo season, or the zodiac sign Virgo, could be of significance. Maybe you are a Virgo sun, moon, or rising sign. But Virgo makes me think of someone who, once they commit, they go all in. Someone who is responsible, someone who works hard, someone who is determined. Virgo also makes me think of someone who is quite observant. So what I'm getting with Virgo and the Hermit is trusting your intuition, trusting your gut feelings. If something feels off to you, trust in that or pay attention to that. You're quite intuitive. You do pick up on things that other people overlook, and these would be in crucial details and information. So yeah, whenever you feel like something is off or it's not quite right, it's usually because you're in the right. Something is off or it's not quite right. So again, trusting yourself. And don't settle is what is coming through with Virgo. Don't settle. The message that is coming through is choose your safety, choose your well-being. Yet at the same time, what came through is, yet don't let this idea of keeping yourself safe be the very reason for which you hold yourself back. Find a balance. And again, I wish I could give you all of the answers, but you know, I'm just a person as well. I'm figuring things out myself. So I only say this because I feel that for you guys, you know, there's a lot of questions arising in your reading, and it's because there's a lot that you are meant to discover yourself, that you are meant to find the answers to. It's not like someone else comes in and gives you the answers. These answers are meant to come from you, from your self-reflection, from your introspection, from what you believe to be true and right for you and or not, etc. So, but I do want to read the guidebook message for shark. So we have, be careful, proceed with caution. If you're seeing the shark, consider it a warning. Whatever you are doing or thinking about doing, the universe wants you to proceed with caution. Depending on your next step, there could be consequences. Are you feeling triggered? If so, you should be mindful of how you communicate and interact with other people. Give yourself time to process your thoughts and emotions before you do something that you may regret. So definitely a lot of you could be going through some kind of awakening, maybe spiritual awakening, but there's a lot of self-awareness that is going on here. And this is major because this demonstrates growth, or a time of major growth and transformation. and that you are a soul who is evolving. It sort of feels like this wake-up call or this reminder that you can live your best life and feel excited about the life that you're living and what it is that you're doing and what you're learning, what you're overcoming, the challenges that you are facing, and so forth. But I do want to read the message for Sailor's Knot. So we have entanglement, energetic cords, ties and bonds, and the message, like a sailor uses knots to tie pieces of rope and boating gear together, the universe also uses invisible strings to tether you to certain people and situations. These invisible strings are called energetic cords, ties, and bonds. These connections typically reveal little on the surface, but deep down they affect you on a soul level. We establish energetic ties before we reincarnate so that we can learn from them while on Earth. Depending on the context and relationship, these bonds are referred to differently. Some examples include soul contracts, ancestral ties, past life ties, karmic cycles, karmic patterns, soulmates, soul families, soul tribes, and so on. Any significant relationship, challenge, or success you've had in this lifetime has been tied to you before birth. Interesting. So there's double mention here of past life. So yeah, you could be addressing some kind of patterns, cycles in your life that need to be released or dismantled. The Sailor's Knot is now making me think of a cord cutting. So some of you could be looking into that, or maybe that's what you're being advised to maybe look into that, a cord cutting ritual, that you do have the free will to say no to things, that you don't have to repeat certain patterns, that you don't have to bring back the past or relive something. You can say no to it. By you becoming aware of it, becoming aware of the pattern, the cycle, you can then choose to walk away from it, say no to it, do things differently. You have free will is what is coming through. But now I want to pull out some sweetheart messages. Get any last messages, advice, and or guidance. Yeah, okay, so we have start, loop, and home. Right, so start is speaking of a new beginning. You're being let know that you can create something new. You can start something new. And with loop, definitely some of you could be noticing or addressing some kind of pattern that maybe you have been in some kind of loop, and that you can break this cycle. There is a cycle that you are breaking, or you're learning that you can break it. It's breakable. You don't have to repeat it. It does not need to be repeated. And with home, this makes me think of a coming home. It also makes me think of coming home to you. You realizing that you can go within, that you can come home to you. It's also making me think of creating a safe space within. Building a good, healthy relationship with yourself, making yourself your friend, finding company, companionship, and support from your inner being there for you, knowing that you're there for you. This also makes me think of creating a safe space. Some of you could be going back home, or you could be finding a home in someone, creating a home with another, or you could be building a home or building a life that feels more in alignment with you, feels like home to you, that feels right to you, that feels like you belong in. Home makes me think of a sense of belonging. You will have a place, a space, people who you will feel a great sense of belonging with or in. But now I want to pull out some pre-written messages. Okay. And if you would like, you can take a moment to select one or two or more of these messages if you would like a more personalized message, or if you would like a message from, let's say, your higher self, past, future self, present self, or from a spirit guide, a deity, the higher self, or someone else who is currently physically incarnated in this lifetime. You can set the intention for that and then select one or more of these, or you can assign. Like, this will be a message from my higher self, and this will be a message from my spirit guide, and so forth. You can also do this if you have any question in mind or situation you would like advice and guidance on. So I will give you a moment, and I will then start right here. But you don't have to select if you don't want to. You can leave these just open general messages for you. So we have be, don't try to become. And this is a quote from Osho. We also have yes. And we also have if you love me, let me know. There is light in you, remember. Ooh, another yes. Interesting. So maybe some of you had a yes or no question. And we also have the word happiness is too vague, but I hope you find life worth living every day. And this is a message by or from Kim Hanbin. We also have time and distance are nothing to be eternal. What came through was some of you could often receive messages through someone that you look up to or someone that you follow, someone that you admire, someone that you'd like. So this could be like a musician, because Kim Hanbin is a musician, singer, songwriter, entertainer. So maybe there is a poet out there or writer who you often receive a lot of comfort from the writing, or there is maybe a musician whose music comforts you, or their lyrics often feel very personal because they feel like direct messages, or they are often exactly what it is that you need as reassurance or for comfort. And so if that resonates with you, it could very well be that you do often receive direct messages from your spirit guides or from the divine, from source, maybe even loved ones who are currently on the other side, through this person or this person's work of art. But we also have time does not heal the internally wounded. Life does, so live. Yes, you're being advised to enjoy yourself, to live your life, because there's still so much for you to experience, so much for you to enjoy, so much for you to see. It's like your past, present, and future self want for you to know that you have a life worth living, worth experiencing. And this is what came through. You are beautiful, and we are here for you. And remember, you don't have to face or do anything alone. If you ever need assistance and or help, please reach out to anyone who you feel comfortable to reach out to, or even professionals, specialists. It's okay. We all need help sometimes. We all need a lending hand. We sometimes need guidance and a different perspective, and it's fine. It's fine if we need it. It's fine to acknowledge when we do need it, because no man is an island, or no man is meant to be an island. And that is a quote or a reference, by the way. Okay, but these are all the messages that are coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. If you are interested in a personal reading, all the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. Yeah, but before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to Spirit, your Spirit team, your future, present, and past self, as well as whoever else came through to help deliver these messages to you, for assisting me with this reading. And I'm wishing you a wonderful rest of your day or night, depending on when you are watching this. And until the next moment, bye bye. Hello, if you were drawn to group 3, bienvenidos to your reading. So the messages raising or increasing the odds, as well as beyond all odds, came to mind when meditating on the energy of this group. I also did see an image of a hat in my mind's eye. So this head accessory could be of significance for some of you. It might be some kind of confirmation. Maybe some of you often wear hats, or you design hats, or that's a dream of yours. But seeing a hat did make me think of the expression wearing different hats. So this could be hinting at that you soon will be playing or having different roles. You could be pursuing more than one thing, or you're being let known or confirmed that if you are wanting to, you definitely can pursue or do more than one thing, have more than one title, or degree, for example. I don't know why this just came through, but let's say you could be a chef as well as an engineer. You could be a parent as well as a business owner and or an entrepreneur or a student. So that's just something to keep in mind for some of you. I also did experience a tingling sensation or pressure-like sensation in the center of my forehead, right between my eyebrows. And this area is often associated with the third eye chakra. So there may be a third eye chakra activation, or you're being let know that currently your third eye chakra is being activated or it is open and active. I also did experience that same sensation in my chest, and this area of the body made me think of the heart chakra. So there could be both a third eye and a heart chakra activation. And in general, I will say, based on what I was sensing physically and energetically, you're being let know that you are going through some kind of activation or upgrade. I know that sounds very technical, kind of IT like. So maybe some of you work in IT or you're software engineers, programmers, but to put it differently, it seems like you are either going through some kind of awakening or you are awakening to your intuitive or maybe even psychic senses or abilities, or you're becoming aware of something in your life, something that has been going on, or you have been suppressing or repressing or not really wanting to address and or see. So at this moment, your life could be presenting you with several opportunities to maybe be a little bit more honest with yourself or become aware of something that you have been noticing for some time, but maybe it hasn't really clicked for you, or you have had trouble fully acknowledging it or accepting it. And the reason why I chuckled a few seconds ago is because when meditating on the energy of this group, I was reminded of the character Ember from the Disney Pixar movie Elemental. And as I was delivering the messages, all of a sudden I found myself looking up towards my bookshelf, and my eyes fell on the spine of one specific book that has the word or the name Ember in its title. So it seems like the word or the name Ember could be of significance for some, or the character Ember from the Disney Pixar movie Elemental, or this specific movie in and of itself may be of significance for some of you. Some of you may relate to the character Ember or to Ember's storyline. And if you're not familiar with the movie, if you've never seen it, basically Ember grows up believing that she wants to take on her father's shop, that's her dream, that's her goal in life, that's her purpose. But when she does try to take on the role of the shop owner or the head of the shop, things don't really work out for her. She finds herself being and feeling very, very frustrated, and this leads to her questioning herself and feeling discouraged or disappointed in herself, and most importantly, feeling as if she is disappointing her father, her family. But later on, she finds out with the help of her friend, who then becomes her romantic partner, that the reason why she has such a hard time taking on this role is because she doesn't actually want to. She actually wants to do something different. She actually does have a hidden passion or talent that she subconsciously or unknowingly really wants to pursue. And I took the time to explain this because I feel that this storyline, this situation might resonate with a lot of you, or it is something that you're currently going through. Maybe there's something that you've been pursuing that you're coming to realize, or soon you will be asked to take a moment and consider whether this is actually something that you yourself want to pursue, whether this is your dream or if it's the dream of somebody else, somebody that maybe you care deeply for. Or maybe you're reaching a point in your journey where your interests are changing, your passion for something is changing, maybe deepening and or evolving, or completely changing onto something else. Or a lot of you could be coming to understand or become aware of what you are passionate about, what it is that you do want to pursue, maybe what it is that you can develop on, a skill that you can hone on, something along those lines. But let us begin. So I will first pull out some cards to get information about what your past self wants to convey to you, messages coming from your past self. Also, seeing that Ember is literally fire, she's the element of fire. The element of fire could be of significance for some of you. You may be a fire, sun, moon, or rising sign, or could have a lot of fire placements in your natal chart. But you don't have to, or this doesn't have to be the case for the messages to apply. That is, of course, if they are resonating with you. But we have sea sponge with energetic absorption and empath. Sorry, I looked at sea sponge and immediately I thought of SpongeBob SquarePants. So SpongeBob SquarePants could be of significance for some of you. Maybe you grew up watching this cartoon, or it was one of your favorite cartoons when growing up or when you were a kid. And if so, this could be serving as a confirmation for some of you. But also, the character SpongeBob is throughout the whole cartoon doing something that he really loves and enjoys, which is fry cooking. And he loves working at the Krusty Krab. Like, SpongeBob truly believes that this is his mission in life. This is his purpose, to make Krabby Patties, because he loves it. And he loves it so much he could do it for little pay or no pay. That's how much he loves it. Yeah, so there's something here about a passion or pursuing something that you really love, you really enjoy, that you believe in, or that you're happy to do or work on. Like, you get up every morning singing like SpongeBob, ready to go to work because you enjoy the work or you enjoy what you do. Or this could simply be talking about a passion for life. But with Sea Sponge, first and foremost, your past self is hinting at you that you may be an empath, or you do have this knack or this ability to pick up on other people's emotions. Maybe you're quite acute and aware of the changes and fluctuations in other people's moods, or you can easily empathize with others. Or, for example, when someone cries, you automatically find yourself crying. And if any of this resonates with you, it is very possible that you can absorb or feel what other people are feeling or going through. So maybe you're talking with someone and they haven't told you much about their backstory or what's going on in their life, but just connecting with this person, you start sensing certain things that then give you a hint or a sensation, sort of, as to what this person may be going through or what is going on in their life. And then later on, as you get to know this person more, as this person starts maybe opening up more to you, you get the confirmation that yes, everything you picked up on at first, or you were feeling or sensing about what this person might have been going through or went through, is pretty accurate. So there's something here about sensation, you being able to pick up on energy, you getting information via sensing energy, or like intuitive feelings, intuitive nudges about things, people, or places. And maybe you already know this about yourself, and so this is just more so a confirmation coming from your past self that yes, you do have this knack, you do have this ability, or you're quite sensitive to energy, the emotions, the feelings of others. But this is also being brought up because your past self wants for you to pay attention to this, because the way that is coming through is you could be very, very sensitive to the energy around you that at times you might not notice or realize when you have absorbed or picked up on energy that isn't of you. And it's not only energy, this could also be like mindsets, notions, beliefs, ideologies. It could even be habits and tendencies, mannerisms. So the example that is coming to mind is like person A is spending a lot of time with person B, who has this very unique accent. And without realizing, person A has picked up on person B's accent, and they are now in a way imitating it. And it's not like person A is intentionally trying to imitate person B, because person A might not even notice that they are doing it until somebody else points it out. And so again, if this resonates with you, if you have come to realize, or it's been pointed out that this happens, or you do this unknowingly at times, your past self is bringing this up, not because it's a bad thing, but rather because this is something that you're being asked to be mindful of. One thing that is coming to mind is boundaries, as well as like checking in with yourself from time to time, or maybe at the end of the day, doing some kind of energy cleansing, maintaining spiritual hygiene or energy hygiene if that resonates with you, or simply taking the time at the end of the day or throughout the day or at some point in the week to ask yourself, okay, what am I feeling currently? What is of me and what isn't? What are some of the things that I might have picked up from others or might have picked up from my environment? And if you can easily identify like, oh, this sensation I've been feeling for the last couple of days, I remember I started feeling it after I spent time with so-and-so or after I went to that place. And so it might be coming from them, or it might be that I picked up on it there. And so knowing this, I see that this doesn't really serve me, especially because it's not of me, so I'm ready to release it. I release it. So in other words, having this kind of awareness, checking in with yourself can help you better discern, again, what isn't of you, and also help with you keeping your energy clean or maintaining your energy healthy and balanced. So there is definitely something here about boundaries. And also, I keep thinking of weeding, like weeding out, taking a moment to address what it is that you truly believe in versus what beliefs you have picked up from the outside world, from others. Because again, with sponge, it makes me think of someone who is able to absorb a lot of information. And so if you often find yourself being overwhelmed or like going back and forth, indecisive, not knowing what to focus on, not knowing what it is that you want, what it is that you would like to focus on, then it could be because you have absorbed a lot. Maybe there's a lot of information spinning around in your mind. It makes me think of a computer that has like a lot of tabs open at once. There's so much going on in the background. And so again, when you are feeling confused, or if you ever do, then it might help to take a moment to yourself to then clear your mind or cleanse the mind, cleanse your energy. It makes me think of a detox. So your past self could be hinting at that. It might be helpful to you to at times go through maybe a digital detox or social media detox, or take a day or two where you're not consuming a lot of, let's say, content or information, taking a break from the news, for example, or taking a day or two to simply unwind, to relax, maybe do something that is meditative, something that allows for you to release instead of take in. Because with Sea Sponge, again, I feel like you are either very observant, or again, you have this ability of pulling in information. And so if you resonate with being an empath, or maybe even a psychic, for example, a medium is also what is coming through. And if you haven't done so already, you might want to look into learning how to channel, how to set intentions of what kind of information you do want to take in, who you want to connect to when it comes to spirit, when it comes to energy, setting your boundaries, knowing how to cleanse your energy, and also fully understanding and knowing that you have free will, right? So again, if you often do channel messages from spirit, for example, and you want to take a break from that, you have free will. And so you can you can set the intention to take a break from channeling messages from spirit. You don't always have to be receiving. You can take a break from that. So I feel like your past self is coming through to kind of encourage boundaries or encourage you to practice your boundaries, as well as to be mindful of your energy, prioritizing self-care maybe, or checking in with yourself every now and then, remembering to check in with yourself, to unwind every now and then, or to give yourself a break from all the content, all the information, everything that is going on around you. But to clarify, we have the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords is an air sign. This will be Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. And the Queen of Swords has very strong boundaries. The Queen of Swords doesn't deal or mess with or put up with BS. And oftentimes the Queen of Swords is described as the Ice Queen because they are more intellectual than emotional per se, but that doesn't mean that the Queen of Swords is emotionally stifled or emotionally immature, because the Queen of Swords is very, very intelligent. It's just that they don't let for their emotions to get the best of them. They do take into consideration their feelings, but they don't base any of their decisions solely on feeling or how they feel about a situation. They intellectualize things. The Queen of Swords is logical and very, very smart. So with the Queen of Swords holding this really long sword, it makes me think of cutting away. It makes me think of cleansing. It makes me think of someone who at the end of the day takes a moment to again check in with themselves, analyze, discern, assess. Again, I don't know why I keep thinking of computers, but it makes me think of someone who is going through their files and seeing, or their email and seeing, well, that's spam, that's junk, that's irrelevant, delete, 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 delete. And at the end, they empty out the trash bin because they don't want to deal with anything that is unnecessary. They don't want their mind to be consumed with unnecessary thoughts, because I'm noticing that this Queen of Swords is dressed in white, and white makes me think of purity, of cleansing. It makes me think of peace and tranquility. So the Queen of Swords makes me think of someone who prioritizes their peace of mind, maintaining inner peace. So your past self is coming through to remind you of the importance of looking after your mental well-being and your mental health. And they're also letting you know that there is a connection between the mind and, let's say, the heart, or how to best phrase it. They're letting you know that your feelings and your emotions can affect your mindset, or the way that you perceive things, the way that you think. It can influence it. And vice versa. The way that you think, your mindset can influence how it is that you feel. And so maintaining a nice balance, or recognizing the connection or the influence these two aspects of your being have on the other, is going to be very, very important, or it is important. So it's not about shutting out or shutting off the heart in order to find peace, or it's not about ignoring the mind, the logic of things in order to find peace. Instead, it's about finding a way in which both of these can coexist, that they can work together, or finding a nice flow between them both, seeing how they do influence and affect one another or the other. And I know I mentioned how the Queen of Swords is not emotionally stifled, and I do sense that to be the case. So bear with me as I try to explain the following. But what was coming through with the Queen of Swords is there could be points in which one becomes so overwhelmed by their feelings, their emotions, or what they are picking up intuitively or energetically, that they shut down their emotions, or they maybe disassociate or disconnect. And so if it is the case that there are times in which you feel drained, or you feel a bit disconnected from your emotions or from your heart space, it could be, right? Because I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a therapist, so take this with a grain of salt, that you are at that moment feeling overwhelmed, that there is a lot going on. And so that would be the time in which you might benefit from taking a step back, from doing a little bit of self-care, unwinding, or taking a break from consuming content or information, or maybe even listening to other people's problems or what is going on in their life. This could be a time in which it will help to do a little bit of a check-in, an energy check-in, or maybe talk with somebody, or just be in silence. This could be a time in which it might help to discern, okay, well, I've been feeling overwhelmed because of these feelings, or because of these thoughts, or because of this going on in my life, or these worries, these concerns. And then once addressing what has been overwhelming you, looking into, for example, if it is a worry that has overwhelmed you, whether this worry is of you, whether it's your responsibility, or it's somebody else's worry that you've taken on. Again, it's making me think of weeding out the things that are not of you, so that then you can come back to center. But I do sense that you are a very sensitive soul, a very sensitive individual. And I don't mean this with a negative connotation, because I have found that whenever I use the word sensitive, there are certain people who see it as something negative or bad. What I mean by sensitive is you're attuned. You can pick up on things, on energy quite easily. Like you have your antennas up and active. The Queen of Swords is all about information. This queen is very observant. They're highly intellectual. So you could be someone with a very high IQ, someone who is very intellectual, someone who is very observant, or someone who picks up on things fairly quickly. I also sense that you are highly emotionally intelligent. Some of you can make excellent therapists or counselors. Maybe you often find yourself giving advice to others, or people often come to you for advice, or you find that people simply pour their heart and souls out to you, or you might even often experience things like people emotionally dumping on you. And so that's why I feel it's very important, or your past self is telling you that it's very important to practice your boundaries, setting your boundaries, taking care of yourself, taking care of you. Because if you are often the person who offers advice or is the listening ear, then that could be quite tiresome. It's very understandable if you do get tired from doing all that kind of work and possibly even service. Maybe some of you are actually therapists and counselors. And remember, being the one who helps doesn't mean that you yourself don't need help or don't deserve help, because everybody needs a lending hand every now and then, and everybody needs to be listened to from time to time. It's not just about doing all the listening. Sometimes we're the ones who need to be listened to. And so acknowledging that and accepting that, it's perfectly fine. And I feel like your past self is saying it's not about running away from your feelings or your emotions. It's more so about creating a safe space within yourself, or just maybe a safe environment in which you can feel through your emotions in a healthy manner. And I'm seeing something as slow, taking in something slowly. So maybe this is about slowly processing your feelings, not feeling rushed, or not feeling like you need to take it all in at once or process it all at once. So this energy here, this reading is quite interesting because it's different from the other two, I will say. Because although these are messages coming from your past self, it feels like these could be messages coming from your present or even your future self. It feels quite general, more like it's an omnipresence that is coming through to deliver these messages to you, or to remind you, like, it's okay to have boundaries, and it's important to look after you and look after your mental well-being. And if you sometimes feel overwhelmed, it's understandable, because you're so attuned, you're so open to the energy around you. And with the Queen of Swords, you're very wise. You could identify with the expression or the notion of being an old soul. I myself don't really resonate with that whole idea. I don't really get it, but maybe you do. And this could be serving as a confirmation, but I definitely feel like you are someone who can offer, or does offer, amazing advice and wisdom. And if you find that people often go to you, it could be because you do have this way of exposing things to people, or helping people see what they fear seeing, helping people come to some kind of understanding, or be honest and sincere with themselves. Because the Queen of Swords doesn't sugarcoat things. Doesn't mean that the Queen of Swords is cruel with how they convey their messages. It just means that they are quite blunt. They cut right to the chase. What they see is what they share, what they let you know. And so people see that you're very honest, that you're quite sincere. And so that's why they could come to you, because they know that if they come to you, what you will give them is sincerity. Because oftentimes that's what people seek. They seek for an honest opinion, for an unbiased perspective. And again, only take that which resonates. This is a collective reading, so a lot of different messages are coming through, because there are different people tapping into or connecting with this reading here. But with the Queen of Swords, a lot of you could have learned or felt like you really needed to guard your heart or become more reserved because you could have experienced situations in which people saw that you were open to giving advice. And so they could have taken advantage of that by continuously going to you for advice or pouring out to you, emotionally dumping on you. And that could have taken a toll on you, or you might have become aware of your sensitivities from a very early age. And so that's when you learned, okay, I have to be a little bit more reserved, or I have to be more mindful of who I open up to, or I can't let others see that I'm actually very aware of what is going on, that I'm actually quite a sensitive being or sensitive to the emotions and feelings of others. Because the Queen of Swords does make me think of someone who is often guarded, or they feel like they often need to be guarded. They can't easily open up their heart, or they have to be quite selective as to who they open up their heart to. And I don't want to tell you that this is right or wrong, because it's often recommended to be selective as to who you open up to, and you are in your right to be selective. Yet, how it's coming through is, when you have very strong boundaries and you know your limits, or you know the limits, you don't need to, or there is no need, or you won't find a need to be constantly guarded or on the defensive. There won't be a need to put a wall around your heart, because your judgment alone, your boundaries, will be enough to weed out the unlikelies or ward off anything that is not of your highest good. Because the Queen of Swords isn't hiding. The Queen of Swords is fully exposed. The only weapon or tool she has in her hand is her sword. And the crown on top of her head lets us know that this Queen of Swords means business. This queen has authority and assertivity. They know who they are and how much they matter and how valuable they are. So there's something here about not confusing vulnerability with weakness, or being strong or empowered with being constantly on the defensive or on edge. But let me read the guidebook message associated with Sea Sponge. So we have energetic absorption with empath, and the message: the Sea Sponge resonates with empaths. An empath is someone who senses and feels other people's emotions as if they are your own. Empathy is a beautiful gift to have because it allows you to deeply understand what other people are going through. However, being an empath comes with the responsibility of setting energetic boundaries. Think of it as having an energetic antenna. Sometimes you should extend your antenna when it is advantageous to pick up on surrounding energies. Other times you should lower your antenna to avoid absorbing negative energy. Many empaths forget to lower their antenna, metaphorically speaking, which leads to exhaustion and burnout. It is not your job to absorb and transmute negativity. Practice sharing love and compassion while upholding energetic boundaries. Okay, so that's just something to consider. And with the Queen of Swords, there's something here about maybe looking into whether or not you have taken on the dreams and aspirations of others. Because again, all of a sudden I was reminded of the character Ember. So for the longest time, once again, Ember was pursuing a dream that wasn't really hers, that it was more her father's. But she cared so much about her father. She had a really strong relationship with her father that she took on her father's dream. So that's just something that is coming up. But let me pull out a clarifier. We have last quarter with activation, letting things flow, moving forward, and rebuild. Yeah, so this could be speaking about allowing for the waters of your emotions to flow, understanding that it's okay for you to feel, and it's okay for you to feel deeply. It's a beautiful thing. It's not a very common thing. So if you would like to see it this way, I know it's very cheesy and cringy, but it could be a superpower. As the guidebook mentioned, you have this antenna, and it's not a bad thing, right? It's more so about learning how to use that antenna, when to raise it, to inform yourself about the world and about your surroundings, and when to lower it so that you can get some peace of mind. It's like any superhero, right? I always find it interesting how superheroes, they are praised for their superpowers, but not praised for how they manage to figure their superpowers out and work with them. because their superpowers don't come with a manual. So at the end of the day, it is the superhero that makes the superpowers incredible, not the other way around, right? So wield your powers, wield your abilities as a strength, as something to utilize to help you navigate through this world, your environment, or in this life. And with activation, we literally have the word activation here. I did speak about you going through some kind of activation or upgrade. So yeah, a lot of you could be learning how to maybe use your abilities, or you could be learning maybe how to utilize a skill that you do possess that is outside of like anything metaphysical. You could be learning how to use your intellect, your wisdom, your knowledge, your keen observation. But with moving forward, there's definitely this message about you moving forward or moving towards what you want, moving forward with a dream of yours, your passions. And rebuild is letting you know that you can start anew. No matter where you are in your journey, you can start anew. Now I want to receive messages from your present self, because I spent a lot of time with your past self. And we have whale with your voice matters and speak your truth. Yeah, interesting, because I forgot to mention the Queen of Swords speaks their truth. The Queen of Swords is all about not only the mind, but also communication, the voice. And so, yeah, you're being advised to speak your truth, that it's okay if you have your own dreams, your own ambitions, or it's okay if you have your own doubts, if you have your own questions, if there are things that you're still figuring out or that you don't understand. It's okay to admit that. Whale makes me think of a being who is highly spiritual, highly intellectual, intelligent, wise, and intuitive. So if you needed that reminder, if you needed that confirmation, you're getting it. You are very wise. You are a wise soul, if you want to look at it that way. You have emotional intelligence. You have this keen observation. You may have one or more talents up your sleeves. There is great potential. But something that is coming through with whale is it's up to you. Right? It's up to you what you make of your potential. It's up to you what you do with your skills and with your talents. Because with whale, again, I'm being reminded of Ember from the movie Elemental. You're being asked to set yourself free by allowing yourself to be. Ember had a lot of built up frustrations, and this often manifested in her being easily irritated and angered. And it was let known to us that Ember didn't normally cry. She didn't allow herself to cry. And so, yeah, with the Queen of Swords, you're being let known that it's okay if you admit to certain things. Admitting to what is actually going on within might be quite relieving to you. You don't have to hide what is actually going on. You can be honest. Your voice matters. It definitely matters. The whale is a very soft, nurturing creature. At least that's how I perceive the whale. So I don't feel like what you have to say is anything hurtful, or you're being let know that you are light and that you being you, or you allowing yourself to be you, isn't going to hurt anybody. I don't know why that is coming through, but I feel like some of you needed that confirmation. Maybe there is something that you have been suppressing or holding in because you fear that it will be taken negatively by others. Again, sorry for bringing this up, but it keeps coming to mind. I'm being reminded of Ember from the movie. When she finally became aware that she didn't want to own the shop, she feared letting her father know because she didn't want to let her father down or disappoint him or hurt his feelings, because she cared deeply for her father. But once she allowed herself to be honest with her dad, she realized that her dad was okay with it, because her dad only encouraged her to own the shop because he thought that that's what she wanted, because all that her dad wanted was for her to be happy, for her to be safe, and for her to be well. So yeah, maybe there's something that you're avoiding speaking about or being honest about because you have these preconceived notions, or you have these assumptions maybe of what might happen if you do, and you're being let known that maybe how you're seeing things or perceiving things is not in actuality what is or what will come to be. So maybe those who you think will not understand will be more understanding than you think or you're expecting them to be. But we have the Ace of Cups. Let me see. So the Ace of Cups speaks about overflowing with emotions. It also makes me think of opening up. The Ace of Cups speaks of unconditional love, and sometimes the Ace of Cups is interpreted as expressing self-love and contentment. I often think of the Ace of Cups as a card of community, gathering, coming together, being in a safe space, creating a safe space. So you are full of love. At least that's how it's coming through. You are full of love. You're overflowing with emotion. You are such a compassionate being. There's so much stored within you that is just waiting to pour out. So much feeling, so much wisdom, so much insight, maybe even creativity. The element of water can often speak about creative, spiritual energy, as well as intuition. So once again, more confirmation that you are quite intuitive. This sounds a little bit cheesy, but you're quite psychic, because I feel like everybody is psychic in one way or the other, but you're quite in tune with spirit, with energy, with the cosmos, if you want to look at it that way. You feel strongly because you are deeply connected. And so I feel like your present self is just wanting to encourage this connection that you have, maybe with all that is, maybe with energy, with spirit, with the divine, with cosmos, and with other people, with other living beings. Because this is beautiful. This is something very unique to you. This is a part of you. The Ace of Cups makes me think of self-expression. Someone who is coming forth unabashedly. Someone who is free of expectations or isn't wearing any masks because they don't feel a need to, because they are appreciated for who they are. So you are appreciated for who you are. And I feel like you are, or soon you will be, in a community or surrounded by people who just want to see you happy, and they want to see you thrive, and they want for you to feel safe and confident to simply shine. Like they want to see you shine. Because I get this feeling like some of you may feel like you go unseen or unnoticed, but people do see you and they admire you and they see a light in you that maybe you have recognized and seen in yourself, or maybe you haven't yet, but this is what they're rooting for this light to shine the more brighter. For maybe some of you to let your hair down, right? Which is an expression, but free yourself, be you is what is coming through. What a clarifier. And the Ace of Cups does make me think of emotional fulfillment, or having something or pursuing something that you love or are deeply emotionally invested in. And so with your voice matters and speak your truth, I feel that present you wants for you to be honest about what you love and what you want to pursue or what you care about. It's like present you just wants to spill the beans. They just want to unveil themselves or be themselves, or share with the world how much they care, share with the world what it is that they care about, or they want to live authentically. But we also have the 12th house with subconscious, the unknown, the void, ending, solitude, spirituality, and dreams. Yeah, so you guys could be on some kind of spiritual journey. You could be experiencing some kind of spiritual awakening. But with subconscious, yeah, it seems like your subconscious, there's a part of you that is nudging you. Now I'm seeing ice, and it's like someone is trying to break the ice, or it's like a lake has frozen over and someone has been submerged or in the lake, and they're trapped by this layer of ice, and they're trying to break through it because they're wanting to emerge. And so it's like a lot of things want to be revealed to you, or more than revealed, they just want to be acknowledged by you. Like this could be like hidden desires or just passions. This could be like you yourself, like your identity perhaps, who you are at the core. It makes me think of someone who has for a while, and this doesn't have to be like you or your situation. It's just an example that is coming to mind to help illustrate the energy here. But it makes me think of someone who for the longest time has been trying to pretend as if they don't care, or let's say, to be more specific, they don't care about romance, they don't care about love, or they don't care about finding the one or being loved, when in actuality they care deeply for this. They are a romantic at heart. They love love. They dream about finding their person or having someone to love and be loved by. And it's like, this is the part of them that is wanting to emerge, that is wanting to scream out to the world. Like, this is me. This is what I really like. This is who I am. This is what I care about. I feel deeply. I care deeply. I love singing. I want to sing to the world. I am quite a sensitive soul. And that doesn't take away from my power. That doesn't take away from my strength. It only adds to it. There's something here about being or feeling empowered by who you are and what you love and what you care about. And the 12th house is associated with the zodiac sign Pisces. So water signs or the zodiac sign Pisces could be of significance. But I do want to read the guidebook message associated with whale. And we have, your voice matters, speak your truth. Whales communicate with each other using high-frequency songs, clicks, and whistles. In fact, the frequencies produced by whales can travel up to 10,000 miles in the ocean. For this reason, the whale wants you to consider how you use your voice. Do you communicate clearly and honestly? Do you feel confident speaking your truth? Do you use your voice to guide other people? Are you communicating from a place of love and compassion? Take a moment to think about how it feels listening to an influential speech, a meaningful song, or even sitting in a room full of people praying or chanting. It's not the words themselves that are powerful. It is the vibration and intention behind them. Your voice is powerful beyond belief. Use it wisely. The whale is also associated with the psychic gift of clairaudience or clear hearing. This sentence really stood out to me. It's not the words themselves that are powerful. It is the vibration and intention behind them. Yeah, so maybe with the Ace of Cups, your present self is simply asking for you to speak from the heart, right? Don't say anything that you don't mean. Don't keep repeating a narrative that you don't really believe in. Or not that you don't believe in, that doesn't really resonate with you heart and soul. That is not intrinsic, is how it's coming through, or does not really align with your values, with your integrity. And some of you might feel like this calling to share with others, like maybe be some kind of public speaker, maybe be a motivational speaker. I did mention something about like therapy and psychology. So some of you could be interested in that or looking into that, because we do have the 12th house here, the subconscious, the psyche. But some of you could be called to like spirituality, metaphysics, esoteric. You could be called to maybe connect with spirit. Maybe mediumship is something that you have been interested for quite some time, or something that is coming to your awareness. Because Ace of Cups, I did speak about community. So you could be called to something that brings people together, that creates a safe space for people to be able to pour their heart and souls, or to heal, or to be honest about what it is that they feel. You're creating a safe space where people do not feel judged, or do not have to fear being judged, where people can speak their truth perhaps. But Ace of Cups is definitely making me think of like emotionally healing, maybe spiritually healing. Some of you could be called to like energy work, maybe something like tarot reading, channeling messages for others, being there as a lending hand for others, but in a safe space, in a more professional setting perhaps. Dreams is also making me think of like hypnotherapy, and I just felt dizzy all of a sudden. So yeah, some of you could be like looking into hypnotherapy, becoming a hypnotherapist, diving into the subconscious to help people better understand certain things that they are going through, maybe understand cycles or patterns that they have been repeating, recognize if there are any blockages, what those blockages are, and how to best remove them in a healthy and safe manner. So there's a lot coming through about maybe being of service, or being a healer, being an emotional support to others. But this will come after you have learned to be there for yourself and allowed yourself to feel safe to express yourself and feel through your emotions and speak your truth, as well as once you have learned to set your boundaries and know how to take care of yourself and take care of your energy, your emotional and mental well-being. But let me now pull out some cards to get messages from your future self. We have Starfish with trust your instincts and follow your intuition. Wow. So yeah, this is like the spiritual psychic, intuitive group. Again, we're all spiritual, psychic, and intuitive, but definitely a lot of you could be on a spiritual journey, some kind of spiritual awakening. You're learning to maybe connect more and or hone your psychic abilities, your clairsenses. You're learning how to connect with spirits, or you're being called to that. A lot of you could be currently being called to energy work, or some of you may even resonate with the label or title light worker, but you don't have to for, again, the messages to apply. That is if they are resonating with you. But yeah, your future self is definitely letting you know to trust in your instincts and follow your intuition. Like, you've got this. You're guiding yourself in the right direction. Or you will, if you allow yourself to trust in yourself. And especially if you allow yourself to be honest with yourself, right? Because trust is all about honesty, right? And so we have trouble trusting when we kind of sense that someone isn't being fully honest with us. So if you have trouble trusting in yourself, maybe it's important to question whether it is because you sense or you know that you're not being very honest to yourself about what it is that you want or what you are feeling, what you are picking up on. This makes me think of what I myself have experienced in the past, where I'm wanting for something, but my intuition tells me this isn't it. Like, no, I understand that you want this and that it looks good right now, or it looks good on paper, but deep down we know that this isn't of our highest good, or this doesn't really resonate with our essence, with our very being. But instead of listening to that and being completely honest with myself about what I intuitively know, or deep down know in my heart of hearts, I reject it, or I overlook it, or I dismiss it, and instead create a whole other narrative that more so fits and encourages my idea of what should be. And oftentimes when I do this, or when I have done this, that's when I experience a little bit of hiccups along the road, or I come face to face with dead ends, or the whole way through things just don't feel quite right or quite as fulfilling. And so sometimes things aren't as clear to us in the moment, but if there's a strong pull towards something, if our intuition is screaming at us or gently nudging us, then maybe it's worth listening to our intuition, to our instincts, right? Like if something isn't sitting quite right, listening to that, because, you know, as mentioned, you're quite attuned, you're quite in tuned, you're quite sensitive to what is going on around you. So when it comes to energy, it's like sound and light. Light travels faster than sound. And it's the same for energy and the material, the 3D. Energy travels faster than something tangible. So sometimes we pick up on things energetically, psychically, intuitively, instinctually, before it manifests in the physical 3D, because energy travels faster. You can look at it that way. So this is more so about whether you feel comfortable with trusting in yourself. But your future self is telling you it's worth the try. It's worth trusting in yourself. It's worth building that self-trust, because you're guiding yourself in the right direction. And look, the Three of Swords fell out in the reversal. It clearly fell out in the reversal. And so the Three of Swords often speaks of heartache and heartbreak. So by you following your intuition, you trusting in your instincts, you will dodge a lot of bullets. You will keep yourself away from a lot of disappointments and a lot of heartaches or heartbreaks. And this is also a reminder to you that your inner being wouldn't guide you to something that wasn't of your highest good, or wouldn't serve you down the road. This is also making me think of you simply receiving an encouragement to build a better, stronger relationship with yourself. Okay, so two cards fell out together, and we have the third house with the mind, communication, thought process, siblings, and social interest, as well as Taurus with calm, luxurious, sensual, determined, stability, harmonious, self-worth, indulgence, stubborn, resist, change, and possessive. And I apologize if you hear that squawking noise. My neighbors have parakeets and parrots and macaws, and yeah, they tend to sing every now and then, or scream more like. But with the third house, your future self is reminding you that your thought process Your mindset, your way of thinking, your frame of mind is really important. And interesting how at the beginning, I was talking about the mind and heart connection. And then the Three of Swords is basically about that, because swords have to do with the mind, the intellect, reasoning, thought process. And then the Three of Swords is often depicted by like a heart being pierced, because it talks about heartache and heartbreak. And so the Three of Swords in the reversal can be speaking about you realizing the connection between the heart and the mind per se, and you finding a nice balance between them, or you seeing the importance of both of them and the importance of the connection that they both have, and knowing how to work with that. But with the third house, this also makes me think of you having better communication with yourself when speaking to yourself and when speaking about yourself to others. You're doing so more respectfully. You're doing so in consideration of yourself, your feelings, and your state of mind. So the way you communicate could be changing, where now you're communicating to yourself from a space of love, a space of compassion and understanding, and with much more maturity as well. The Three of Swords also makes me think of someone who has learned how to manage their state of being. Like they have learned how to self-soothe, self-regulate, because we do have calm here. Because I'm not sure if these swords are actually impaling this person, but it sort of feels like they're floating. And seeing that this person has their eyes closed, it makes me think of this person is using telekinesis, like they're using the power of their mind to stop the swords from impaling them. And so this is how much power they have, mind over matter sort of thing. And so yeah, it's like you're learning that your mind is powerful, and that people's opinions or people's words can only hurt you to the degree that you allow for them to. Because you get to decide, you get to choose what you believe in, what you take in, what you absorb, what you make a part of yourself. Especially there's something here about you learning that how other people see you is not a reflection of who you are, or it doesn't have to be. And remembering that you can formulate your own opinions. You can choose for yourself what to believe in. Again, what to take in, what to make a part of you, what to identify with. So trusting yourself is what is coming through. Trust that you know what is of you and what is for you. And there's something here about taking responsibility and accountability, and this not being a bad thing or a scary thing, but something that is empowering. With Taurus, this makes me think of stability. So I'm getting emotional stability, mental stability. Your future self is giving you a heads up about that you're building up to that, you're working your way towards that, or you will experience this in the future, especially if you choose to allow yourself to feel through your emotions, work through your emotions, find this connection between the mind and the heart perhaps. There's a lot more calm, a lot more peace in your future. So you're cultivating peace, inner peace, but also peace in your life. And for those of you who have yet to partner up, but you are wanting to partner up, being in a stable, committed relationship, you will be in the future, and your partner will be someone who may be a Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising sign, or who could have a Taurus placement somewhere in their natal chart, maybe in their third house. Doesn't have to be the case for every single one of you, but this is definitely someone who will be like an anchor to you, or they will be very reliable. This is someone who is practical, reasonable, but very stable. Sturdy is how it's coming through. So they could have like a sturdy build, but their energy is quite sturdy. You feel safe in this person's presence, in this person's arms. They create a safe space for you. They mean what they say, and they do what they say, or they promise. They keep to their word. They show and demonstrate time and time again that you can rely on them. They will be there for you. This is someone who could be quite protective over you, but I know we have possessive here, but I'm not really getting that from this person. They more so come through as being quite protective, but I feel like this person will provide a space for you to be able to grow and to discover yourself. But something is for sure, this person has very strong boundaries themselves. They themselves have come a long way. They themselves have worked through a lot, matured a lot, grown a lot. So they know their own limits, right? And they will be there for you, and they will support you emotionally, financially. Yet, this isn't someone who will put up with BS. This is someone who keeps others accountable, especially people they really care about. So that's just something to keep in mind, because I feel like this person will speak honestly to you. They won't be hurtful with their communication, but they will be honest and sincere. They won't lie or hide anything or sugarcoat anything if they see that sugarcoating isn't really helping the situation or helping you. That is just something that is coming through because I feel you will resonate deeply with this person. Like a lot of the things this person has worked through will be things that you yourself have worked through or come to learn or still working on. So I feel like you will be able to relate to this person a lot. Yeah, and maybe this is, for some, this could be the energy of someone that you are currently involved with or that you are in a relationship with. And if that is the case, I see that in the future you will still be with this person, working with this person, growing with this person, creating a beautiful, stable life together and improving upon your communication with the third house. But definitely the third house is making me think of you improving your communication with yourself. And the third house also makes me think of like clairaudience. So yeah, some of you could be clairaudient, or in the future, if you want to continue with this, you will be able to hear spirit more clearly, or your communication, your connection with spirit will be a lot stronger. Yeah, some of you could definitely, in the future, maybe currently you are, and you will continue doing this in the future, be channeling messages from spirit, channeling messages for others, or you could be working in communication, something to do with communication, public speaking, for example. I'm also thinking of journalism, creative writing. Some of you could be creatives, creators. With the whale, I'm also thinking of musicians, music producers, songwriters, lyricists. Yeah, so you could be helping and assisting a lot of people heal via creative work, via what you put out there, what you convey, maybe via you sharing your journey, your feelings, your emotions. But yeah, I feel like your strength is actually opening up. It's actually being open to your sensitivities, allowing yourself to feel deeply. Taurus is also letting me know that when it comes to money, you will be doing quite well in the future. There is financial stability in your future, that's for sure. You could be entrepreneurs, have something of your own going on, or you could be making a lot of passive income from something that you're quite passionate about, or something that you're sharing with the world. With social interests in the third house, I am thinking of social media. So some of you could be on social media, or through social media, you could be developing something in the future. You could end up being some kind of public figure or in the public eye. Or if you do have a business in the future, your business will benefit a lot from being promoted on social media as I was coming through. But I'm also thinking of like a couple who is quite popular on social media, like a power couple dynamic, or like a couple who both of them are motivational speakers or who inspire others, something along those lines. So maybe that could resonate for some of you. I'm also thinking of people who flip houses, so maybe that's something you'll be into, or future projects of yours. And you might share your whole journey, like the whole process of flipping a house or renovating a house on social media maybe, or a social media platform. Yeah, but definitely whatever it is that you're choosing to do, that you're sharing with others, with the public, with the masses, I feel like it will end up being very healing, right? So whether it be like house renovating, house decor, or whether it be like sharing about managing a business or creative writing, or sharing your songs if you're songwriters, or posting a video of yourself singing or dancing, that in itself will be quite healing. Like, or maybe you do all this, but alongside all of this, you also integrate like advice, little messages here and there of encouragement, and that in itself ends up being very healing for others. So again, it's this feeling of whatever it is that you end up doing, it will be of help to the community, or it will be an encouragement to other people, or it will inspire people in a very positive way. So don't worry so much about fulfilling some kind of purpose, because whatever it is that you end up doing, you will end up fulfilling your purpose. That is, as long as you keep being honest with yourself and real about what is truly calling to you and what you feel inspired to do. So just keep doing you and keep being you, and you'll be on the right track. But now let me pull out some sweetheart messages. Ooh, okay. So we have adore, desire, swoon, and active. Wow. So active, again, is making me think of activating. But this could also be like you becoming more active in something that you're passionate about, something creative perhaps, or just becoming more active, an active participant in your life by speaking up, speaking honestly, speaking truthfully, you following your heart's desires maybe. But yeah, because we do have desire here. With swoon, this makes me think of you inspiring others, other people being inspired by your journey, by what it is that you're doing, by your words, by your intellect, by your inner and outer beauty, by how you see the world genuinely and truthfully, by your truth perhaps. But with adore, this makes me think of adoration for yourself, self-adoration, also just showing your true feelings, the depth of your feelings. And again, this makes me think of partnership, adore and swoon. So for those of you who are single or who are wanting to be in a committed, loving relationship, you're being let know that that is awaiting for you. You're opening up to that. Or if you allow yourself to open up, you yourself, you will be opening up to this beautiful partnership. You will be coming into union or be in a committed relationship with someone who is swoon worthy and who will adore you, who will be, in your eyes, very adorable, very sexy is also what is coming through, but they definitely will be someone who cares for you deeply, and they show through their actions, day-to-day actions, that they care for you, that they think of you, that they consider you, your feelings, what you're going through, and they will take the time to swoon you. It makes me think of 51st Dates, like every day is an opportunity for them to fall in love with you all over again, and also to have you fall in love with them all over again. So this is someone who will treat you very, very well, who is quite romantic as well, and whose love language could be acts of service or just affection. This is someone who could be very affectionate, very cuddly with you. I'm just sensing so much like love and adoration, sweetness. This is someone who will be very, very sweet, who will care about creating a safe space for you and with you, where you can be comfortable and secure together. There's like a theme of security and stability going on here for your future. So there's so much love in your spread. You're full of love. Whoever you're attracting via a romantic partner, or maybe even like this could be, I don't know why I just thought of like a sweet mate, but this could be a friend. People who you are attracting in your life, they will be as full of love as you are. There are people out there who are very much like you. Yeah, if you exist, they exist as well. So, but now let me pull out some pre-written messages. And just know that in your relationships, communication will be so important. Being honest with each other. You will know if you are in a healthy relationship when you feel safe to open up to the person you are in a relationship with, when it's okay to be honest. And remember, honesty is not an excuse to be mean and cruel with your communication. Honesty is simply about being sincere with how you feel, but also being considerate of the other, because I feel like that's important in communication as well. It's not only about the self, me, it's also about considering the other individual who you're speaking to, who is listening to you. So if you would like, for this segment of the reading, you can take a moment to cast your gaze upon these pre-written notes or messages here and select one or more so that you can get a more personalized message. Or if you'd like to get a direct message from your higher self, your past, present, or future self, or from your spirit guide or the higher self of somebody else who is physically currently incarnated in this lifetime, then you can set the intention for that and then select a couple of notes or a sign if you'd like. Or if you have a question or a situation you would like guidance to, you can do the same. And if you don't want to, then you don't have to select. You can just leave it open message. See what comes through for you. But I will give you a moment to select or assign, and I will start over here. So we have, I will wait for you. Yeah, patience. Patience can be a love language as well. Being patient with another, being understanding. And this could include with yourself as well. We also have to define is to limit, and this is by Oscar Wilde. Wow. So remember that you are an ever-evolving being. So there's no need to put yourself in a box or give yourself a label, because what you might have identified with yesterday might not be what you identify with today, and that's okay. And we have reconsider. We also have showtime. It's showtime. It's time to shine your light. It's time to come out from backstage and be in the spotlight. Take center stage. We also have for the seed, growth is growth, whether it be roots, the stem, or a single leaf. Again, you're always growing, ever evolving. We also have go for it. Okay. And last but not least, 1111. So this could be an angel number you've been seeing often. Oftentimes 1111 could speak about wish fulfillment, something manifesting, manifestations. Some people see 1111 and they think about divine unions or unions, counterparts, or they could see 1111 and see it as a confirmation of being on the right path, on the right track. So, you know, whatever 1111 means to you in specific, you could take this as this meaning that. But also the month of November could be of significance. Maybe some of you were born on the 11th of November and this could be serving as a confirmation. So you might be a Scorpio if that is the case, or you could have been born on November or the 11th of a month. You could also be a life path number 11. And if you are, maybe this is your confirmation if you are single and you do want to enter into a romantic partnership, that your significant other could also be a life path 11 or a life path number 1. Yeah, but only take that if it resonates. If it doesn't, then just let it be. But the date November 11 or the month of November could be of significance. But these are all the messages coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance and clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you are new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website. And the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. To all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them run in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to Spirit, my spirit team, your spirit guides, as well as your past, present, and future self, and anyone else who came through to assist me with delivering these messages to you, for assisting me with this reading. So thank you so very much, and I'm wishing you a wonderful rest of your day or night depending on when you are watching, and until the next moment, bye bye.